It's a splatter fest in the sublevels tonight of Innsmouth Hive as the Arbites continue to attempt to put down the most recent Glass Eater cult uprising. Death tolls will probably continue to rise as the Underhive Auxilia has been flushing out Glass Eaters with their Cyber Dobermans and Mastiffs. We've gone to ground in an abandoned asylum, where we will continue to be your flickering match in the ever-encroaching darkness, the last few autogun shells in the magazine, the voice-cast voices which break up the endless static that haunts your ever-waking moment. 665.66 UHMR Chemrat Radio. I am your heroic leading man who will definitely survive until the end of the film, Goblin King, and I am joined by the smartass who will probably utter, "I'll be right back," before disappearing, Marky.
You know, this asylum is very familiar to me. I don't know why.
It's a little nutty here, ain't it?
It is.
It's a bit nutty.
It's a bit nutty.
You don't need to get a headshot if you use an auto shotgun zomicidal maniac beast.
Hey there, everyone.
And the survival expert who dragged us into this asylum in the first place, Kevin. And tell us, why exactly did you choose the totally not haunted or demon-infested building as a safe place for us to hide?
Because it's totally not haunted or demon infested.
Ah, of course. Of course.
I mean, you can't argue that.
That's just
It was
logic.
a solid statement.
Damn you and your logic.
There are bars on the windows and locks on the doors.
You're right. You're right. Nothing can ever get in.
That just locks us
Or
in,
out.
not out.
You guys feel like wet spots on your butt cheeks?
That's only you.
Okay.
That's only ever
Sorry.
been you.
You're like, I'm scarred for fucking life.
We
now.
have people who definitely don't let their children listen to this podcast that listen to. Oh, yeah. So continue.
Please.
Never mind.
Anyway, poop noodle. No.
Nurgle nuggets.
So the
Nurgle
history
nuggets.
behind this so-called poop noodle. In 1965.
The Nurgle tail, we call it.
Nurgle tail. So today's episode, we are going to focus. This is our second Halloween spooky special. We are going to focus on Space Hulks.
Spooky dookie.
Spooky dookie.
Staying on topic.
Yeah.
So for mandatory podcast fuck around time, we're going to talk about the connection between Space Hulks and Hollywood, because there really isn't one, but we're going to force it anyway.
Oh, there's a few.
This is how you tangent. They're just like, we're going to connect these two things. Yeah, I can see the. So Space Hulks are probably one of the cooler and easier to find examples of the more like traditional horror elements. Horror.
I've just got to think that a Space Hulk is like the world's worst funhouse.
That's pretty.
Why are we
Right?
stuck in?
Well, because like,
Yeah.
I mean, if we think about what a Space Hulk, I'm sorry, were you going to define what a Space Hulk is?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
All right.
I was.
When you do, let me
yeah.
know, and I'm going to comment on it.
Okay, got you. Yeah, so Space Hulks are just kind of that horror element that really jumps off the page of the 40k universe. Like right off the bat, Space Hulk and the real quick description that you'd find somewhere makes me think of like fucking hundreds of movies.
Oh yeah.
With the success of the early video games and the standalone board games, most gamers or people who have only dabbled in games are probably more likely to know of Space Hulk than they may even know of Warhammer 40k. Like the rest of Warhammer 40k, Space Hulk is very influenced by sci-fi movies and other properties of the late 80s. Not necessarily a definition, but to describe one, which might fit real close to what you're saying. Space Hulks usually have tight, confined, maze-like hallways encrusted in techno-arcana, which have graced which have graced movie franchises all the way from Alien to other titles we'll talk about. And you had something about fun.
Well, so I mean, a definition of a Space Hulk, for those people that don't know, a Space Hulk in the world of 40k is a mashup of multiple ships, right? So these giant spaceships enter the warp, they get lost, they get mashed and compiled into 50 million other ships, right, that have been lost over time, and they're like redesigned together, you know, as this mashup of like the corridors and rooms and stuff, and it comes out of the warp and they call it a Space Hulk. And what it is it's literally it's almost like Like it's a fracture of what the ship was because it's just been melded into all these different ones.
It's like if you take all the gum off the bottom of the table and you kind of smash it into a big ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a spooky dookie.
But that's pretty much what it is.
So all right, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
Have you ever hear me out, Ryan? Have you ever
Why is he so mad at me?
taken a shit that was 2 different colors?
Yes.
No.
That's a Space Hulk.
Okay.
You've never
You've never taken a shit.
You've never
where
taken
one side was green and the other was brown.
Yeah, totally done that.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
You've never seen that.
No.
you have never ingested Pepto-Bismol, sir.
I was going to say you haven't eaten
No, you
enough
just
sushi.
poop black.
Yeah, but usually there's a transition poo in there.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you got one already. It's a double feed. So,
You got
you already got one in the
one in the chamber.
Yeah, you got one in the chamber, and then the other gets loaded in with it. But they actually both make it out.
No.
It's a double feed.
Oh, okay.
So you were gonna compare Space Hulk.
Well, if you could think about that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the gum one is a good.
I just
like,
blew you
take
guys'
all the
mind.
gum
You're just gonna
and you just push it back together.
just gonna blow by it like nothing. I just blew your mind.
Marky is like, hey, you know when you mix 2 different types of clay together?
Yeah, right. So that's the
Space
thing,
Hulk,
right?
You
Like,
know when you do the chocolate vanilla swirl?
right. So I mean, if that's what you're like, I mean, to me, I don't know that to me, like that blows my mind of like melding these ships together. Yet the corridors line up. Yet like the like, wouldn't it be like the world's weirdest fun house? Like you'd be walking in one direction and then there'd be stairs going to nowhere in some other corner. You know what I mean? Like that's what you got to think of here.
It'd be like the Winchester house.
Yeah, it'd be fucking, it'd be
Basically,
terrifying.
the Winchester
Like,
house is a super good kind of idea of what it would be like inside.
Before we dive into an exploration of what Space Hulks are, talk a little bit about the history and even call out some of the infamous ones that exist in the 40k universe, we wanted to help kind of paint a picture for you guys. So we wanted to lean on the movies that have come out in the last couple of years. Biggest franchise to pull from is probably Alien. The original Alien was released in 1979. And for those of you who haven't seen the film, stop what you're doing and go watch it.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Oh yeah, it's an old film.
It's really old, and for the time, it was
holds
fucking
up
amazing.
really well.
and it still holds up pretty good to this
Yeah.
day.
Because they did a lot of
Practical.
tricks to specifically make sure that like it was anchored in a certain level of timelessness.
Yeah.
Even with the computer technology that they
right.
use.
They still reference wireless technology. They still reference
Well,
you
and
know,
they
like-
didn't. And they didn't blow out. They didn't go like, hey, let's spend a bunch of money trying to make fake computer graphics of what computers in the future look like.
Might
They were
look
just
like
like,
they're
oh,
like-
let's use command prompt because command prompt is command prompt.
Yeah, command prompt will
still
basically
using
always-
today.
Yeah, we're
Well,
still
kind
using
of.
it today.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a little nicer looking. But so yeah, now that you've watched all of Alien and you're back, so
Right.
Dallas and the rest of the crew hunt the alien through the ducts with a flamethrower. The xenomorph, which is very Gene Stealer-like, takes out the crew one by one. And then, of course, we've got Jonesy the cat not giving a fuck.
I'm so happy the cat lived.
Oh, man. I love how the cat watches the one dude get murked.
Yeah, it just sits there in
He's
the
just like,
corner. It's just like, that sucks.
that sucks to be you, bro.
pretty in character. If you ask me.
It's
Right?
true.
It's exactly
It's
what a
true.
cat would
Cat's
do.
just like fuck.
Cat could have the button
But-
to like open the airlock and suck the alien
And
out of the
just
ship
not
and
give a
save
shit.
your ass, and the cat would just fucking lick its paw and just mad dog you the
As
whole
long
time.
as one of y'all feeds me, I don't give a shit.
The cat's like, what can I push off this table right now? I don't real care.
would
that
push
you're
the
dying."
button off the table instead.
So picture those tight corridors. That whole idea of like crawling through ducts with a flamethrower literally is the one-to-one comparison of the statement of the crew hunting the xenomorph through those ducts with flamethrowers, and then the way that Space Hulk plays out is
Right, but
insane.
but you're not hunting the xenomorph. They are hunting you, in fact.
Oh
Yeah, in 40k, the roles are definitely reversed.
Oh no, even in the movie Alien,
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It was, I mean, they were hunting each other.
just
Right. There was almost like a
just
a
like in-
mutual
it was-
hunting.
it was
just
a-
like
a
in
mouse eat
Deathwing,
mouse.
and just like in Space Hulk Deathwing, you think you're hunting the Gene Stealers are hunting you.
Oh, yeah.
I always figured in Space Hulk, it was more like they're not hunting the Gene Stealers. They're more because they're on missions. Like they have,
Yeah, yeah,
They have,
well-
they have
well-
objectives.
Yeah, we're like
We'll actually talk
And in
about
the
why.
process, it's more like don't die.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Because I feel like they wouldn't even be able to kill all the Gene Stealers.
Well, yeah, we'll actually get into that and why Terminators are used predominantly for that action a little later on.
yeah.
So Aliens, which was released in 1986, saw wider spaces, but still very claustrophobic, very dark and hard to navigate. Again, that weird, like, I call it techno arcana. It's just like techno crap. Like in a movie, when a hacker's hacking into the Pentagon to move all the missiles around, they use techno babble.
Enhance.
When they do set dressing in sci-fi movies, they just use techno arcana. It's like, what did the spinning fan wheel do? Have you seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? What's this do? He just spins it for a minute. Nothing. it's just a techno thing on the wall.
Was like Jurassic Park when the granddaughter was hacking the
it was going.
She's like, I'm in. You're just like, you just fucking clicked on some blocks of like.
You clicked a 3D. You basically navigated a 3-dimensional file structure that had no business existing in a 3-dimensional file structure.
Right.
That could have totally all been done in a basic ass Windows interface.
Hey man, did you hear Joey hacked a Gibson?
You didn't say the magic word. Our lives are in your hands when you have butterfingers.
Hold on to your butts.
Dude, I blame that movie for making me a smoker. Because when Samuel L. Jackson is in there and he's like, access main program, access main backup program. I'm like, God, I want a cigarette. And I was like 6.
I don't even know what they are, but I want one.
A cigarette so bad.
I used the didn't say the magic word. I say it at work sometimes. But I actually said I did it to somebody on the when I was about to get on the freeway. Somebody was trying to cut me off to get onto the on ramp in front of me, and I literally held up my left finger, and I was like, nah,
You did like Usain
say
Bolt.
the magic word, like I just like did the top. Of my
the one
finger
that gets
back
me
and
is
forth.
when they're hanging out at the diner with the fat dude and the Barbasol.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like,
Johnson, we've got Johnson here.
Nobody
See,
cares.
nobody cares.
I love that one.
We've done that joke for a bunch.
We have.
So Tom showed up to something basically dressed as that guy. I remember, was that your birthday?
I don't know. I just wore a Hawaiian shirt.
But you had the hat too.
No, I've never worn a pompadour.
No, it wasn't. It was a different kind of hat. You had a white some kind of hat.
Tom
on.
showed up dressed like a CIA agent.
Right.
Tom's like, I just wore a Hawaiian shirt.
That's really all it was.
Was it the banana shirt?
Yeah. I think it was the banana shirt.
But yeah, I think it was when we went down to San Diego for your birthday.
Probably.
Because but it was funny. He was wearing the Hawaiian shirt. He had the white hat. It wasn't a fedora. It was a different kind of hat. But you had a white hat on.
You are not thinking of the right person.
I swear it was you.
Nope.
It was probably just a white baseball cap.
Nope. Never.
No.
I don't even own one.
Wasn't it kind of like a hat like yours?
I have. That's a black hat. I have like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure you were wearing a white hat because I made a joke about it, and you were like, "Yeah."
No. Not me.
If you're talking about the time that I'm thinking where we all went to go eat, I think it was a hat like
eat the
that.
meat.
Memory.
I don't know. I dismember a lot of shit.
I
Subject to change.
yeah, very much so, especially coming from me.
So anyway, Aliens, which was released in 1986, saw those wider spaces. However, everything is still dark and all that. This time we focus on a team of Marines that are equipped with incredibly advanced weaponry, and they are set to take on an infestation of aliens. They even make jokes about, is this another bug hunt? They kind of allude to the fact that hunting down aliens that are kind of bug-like is normal. And the aliens don't have ranged weapons. However, once again, who's hunting who? The aliens start to win pretty quickly. The Marines also have to take precautions in some cases not to damage the nuclear reactor of the terraforming engine, which they do anyway, meaning that they have to switch to less powerful weapons that are less effective. Oh yeah, if you didn't watch Aliens, you probably should have gone and
You're
watched
like
that
20 years
too.
late, but
Fun fact: Space Hulk was released, I believe, like 3 years after Aliens was.
Yep.
So
yeah,
maybe
and if
the
I remember
alien-
right, first alien was on the planet.
No,
No.
first Alien was inside a spaceship.
Oh, first alien was on Nostromo.
So no, so the first the Nostromo is the ship in the first Aliens.
yeah,
And the first Alien. So in Alien, the 1979 movie, they get a distress beacon from a planet. They go to check it out. They find the not the navigator,
Engineer.
the jockey's ship. Now we know them as engineers, but back then it was just a space jockey.
That's right. Yeah.
They find the space jockey's ship. Not Dallas.
the
somebody
guy
gets
from,
egged.
Yeah,
Somebody gets egged. Chestburster comes out, grows into an alien on board the Nostromo when they're back
Right.
in space.
Right.
The
that's what
company-
happened. They
the
thought
company
they got away, and
says-
that's when he busts
Yeah.
open.
Yep.
The company says, "Bring us our bioweapon."
So that's when the robot goes rogue.
Yep.
And is like, no, I don't give a shit. It can murder all the humans as long as I get
the
it.
guy
back
from
to base.
Spaceballs, that was in the second movie or first movie? That was the first movie.
That was basically a copy of.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same
It's the
actor.
same actor.
It's the same actor.
Same
Oh,
actor.
it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's
That's
They
what
also-
made it so funny.
That's
They
what made it
also
so
didn't-
believable
Yeah.
too.
They also didn't warn the actors that the chestburster
Yeah.
scene was going to happen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So a lot
they're
of
all
those
freaking
reactions are real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alien or in Spaceballs?
In
Alien.
Alien.
Oh, in Alien.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
they
Pretty
and they
hilarious.
and they legitimately sat down to have like a crew dinner. Like they were actually eating dinner
when that
as
happened.
an acting crew when it happened.
Oh,
They
they
thought he was
stuffed the
choking, so they were like
Yep.
checking him and stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
like,
Freaking the
man.
hell out when
that's
it's like
that's how directors will fuck with people. So in Aliens, they go to LV-426, which is the
Okay,
planet
That's where they go on
that the
planet.
jockey was discovered on. But it's several years later and they've built a colony, and they specifically bring Ripley because she survived the events of the first film.
Right. They bring her on as like a
and
consultant.
they're like, "Oh yeah, you're so consulting."
So just again,
I didn't really believe her
as another
Oh yeah, and nobody believed anything that she said.
until they started fucking him up.
and just like in or to draw another parallel between the Alien franchise and the Tyranids and the Gene Stealers is the alien infestation, a lot like the Tyranids, has started to change the technological environment into that hybrid biological nastiness that you see in the Alien.
yeah,
Giger.
the aliens as well as Tyranids both kind of secrete
Oh, yeah.
that like
Black semen stuff.
Secrete Stief.
yeah.
Giger, I forget what they call it.
Geiger.
It's H.R. Giger.
Yeah,
is his
Giger.
name.
Giger, yeah, that's true.
But they call it, the art form is actually named after him.
Yeah.
So then Alien 3, which was
Something like that.
1992, sees an entirely male prison population on a smaller moon or planetoid that has entirely been turned over to extracting and manufacturing raw materials, in this case like metals, a lot like a Forge world in a way.
Sounds like a penal
Or
world.
like Gene.
Yep, our penal world. The very heavy machinery is everywhere. There's lots of industrial junk. Again, those tight tunnels, all that stuff that's just very... Picture all of these spaces when you think of a Space Hulk. And they're hunting down a specific threat, which is an environmentally adapted xenomorph. So you get that, again, heavy Gene Stealer-ish vibes.
Yeah, like
One-
Gene Stealer cult.
One thing that always you're talking about, like the techno arcana all over the walls and stuff. One thing I always remember from both playing the Space Hulk games, and then also all these movies, is like venting steam pipes.
Oh yeah, there's
like
just all sorts of
obscuring
like,
vision.
what the fuck do you? What does that do?
Where's that steam going?
Well, I remember I was watching somebody's technical review of the Alien movie, and they're like, any spaceship that leaks this amount of water should be crashing.
Right, right.
Because like
Remember that-
every room has some kind of steam leak, or it's dripping water from somewhere.
Yeah.
There's like condensation just like pouring off the walls. Like whatever's going on this needs to be fixed.
But they are very, very set in like horror mystique, and they're
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very set in the rules that we know as Space Hulks. So Alien Resurrection, which came out in 1997.
Yeah, I'm like one of the few people that actually love that movie.
I actually like that one.
I
It's not that
love
bad.
Alien
It's cool.
Resurrection. I think
It's
it's
got some
great.
cool scenes
the
in it.
last few kind of all blurred together for me.
Alien Resurrection has some weird parts in it, but
Yeah.
it's an overall interesting movie.
I remember the scene. I don't remember which one it was in, but it's the turret scene.
That's the second one. That's Aliens.
Oh, I could have sworn that was the third one. But when the turrets are all just spewing and you're just watching the ammo counters.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second one's really big on playing with paranoia with the ammo counters.
Mhm.
Yeah. Resurrection was basically they cloned Ripley.
Yeah.
And
And
they
the
brought,
cat.
they brought her back.
No, the cat stops being in the films in like the second one.
Oh,
well,
no,
at
the cryo.
the beginning of the third one, the cat's gone.
Yeah.
No, so they bring Ripley back, right? And they bring her back because she, in the ending of 3, she had a emperor or a queen alien inside of her.
Regnate her or whatever.
Yeah, so they brought her back with this queen so that they could extract it.
Yeah.
Right.
There was an
Because they're like tied to one another, right?
Yeah. Well, so in recloning, it wasn't perfect.
Right.
So
the DNA got
the DNA got a little, So Ripley in Resurrection actually has acid blood, which is badass.
And there's a bunch of Ripley's at one point too.
Well,
Don't they go to,
there's
like, a
all the
weird
different
biological-
versions.
So,
Yeah.
So because of this movie, this is kind of where like it enlightened me for my Gene Stealer cult, because like I have Ripley as my magus,
Yeah, okay.
and my magus and my patriarch are both super connected. My queen and my magus.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh well, it's just a clone of an individual that so happened to have Gene Stealer genes in them.
Yeah.
So they're psychically connected. Like,
Well,
I
like
thought it was
all
pretty cool.
all the different versions they had cloned of Ripley, they were all fucked up.
Yeah,
Like they were
messed
half
up.
alien, like they looked alien. Like one of them had like 2 mouths, and then they had one that was actually like alive still, and that's what like sends Ripley over the deep end, is because it's like on the table, it's like kill me, like, and she ends up like flamethrowering it.
Yep.
But like no, that movie was great. Like because they really combined a lot. Like I've heard people talk a lot of shit on Alien Resurrection, but Sigourney Weaver was back, and I don't give a fuck. Like Sigourney Weaver, like I love that woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right?
she's great.
She totally plays
Ripley.
this fucked up Ripley.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she's just like fucked up. Like, and in Resurrection they combined comedy aspects that a lot of the second one had. Like Aliens had some comedy moments, and they really combined that into this. So they went very much new age action with it. So it was
There's
super
some-
outlandish.
There's some
Like
crazy action sequences.
yeah, like
I love when they're swimming away from the aliens.
in the
coolant.
water. Like
It's coolant.
oh, the
It's not
coolant, yeah,
water.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
coolant.
When he shoots the like grenade.
Yeah.
And it detonates on one of them, dude. It was so sick. Winona Ryder is a fucking cyborg.
Yeah, she's a synth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then it's got the guy from CSI with the really pretty eyes.
Oh yeah, that dude. Yeah. Ron Perlman.
Dude.
Ron Perlman's
Ron
in it.
Perlman?
Yeah,
Ron
Ron-
Perlman's
no,
in
Ron
it, dude.
Perlman.
I
Yeah.
don't remember him.
Ron
No, he's
Perlman's
one of the
in
like
it.
fucked up like bounty
He's
hunter
one of
dudes.
the bounty hunters, but
Oh,
he's
okay.
not the dude with the pretty eyes. The dude with the pretty, I can't remember the guy's name with the pretty
You're
eyes.
talking about sunglasses guy, right?
no,
The
no,
guy who
that's
had the
David
guns on his
Caruso.
hands.
Oh, okay.
They were like, put the guns down. He's like, I can't. They're attached
He
to
plays,
me.
he plays Warwick in CSI, like normal CSI Las
I
Vegas.
haven't
Yeah,
watched
he's
enough
well,
CSI
and it's
now.
perfect too because like his character is very vain.
Yeah.
Like his character gets burned and he's like, I don't want to live anymore. Like,
yeah, he
it's
gets
like,
his face
dude, you're
burned and he
fine.
gets all
Like
mad,
you're
yeah.
literally fine.
You
Like,
look cooler, bro.
yeah,
Just
exactly. It's
chill.
like, look at Ron Perlman. He's all fucked up. Like
He's always.
And then there's the dude with the wheelchair that has all the parts of a
that's the
shotgun.
best part, dude. He like builds a shotgun out of parts from his wheelchair.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
if
then he
I
gets,
was bound to a wheelchair, I would totally stash gun parts.
Oh, dude.
well, one of the ways that he knows he's fucked later on is he's his leg is getting dripped on with acid and he can't feel it
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because he doesn't have any feeling in his
'Cause he's
legs.
sitting
He's
there
like,
and
oh
it's
fuck. He knows it's above him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron Perlman like stabs him in the leg at one point, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Ah, you can't feel it anyway." Like,
There's a lot of fucked up parts. I initially had an issue with Alien Resurrection because Alien Resurrection doesn't really feel like any of the other Alien movies.
It doesn't. That's why I said it's an outlandish action movie. You know, instead of it being a horror movie, it was more of an action movie.
It's
It
more like
definitely-
Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
less
but
Alien.
but
It
if
definitely fits in with the AVP stuff, though.
right, but
Oh,
if
yeah.
you,
Right.
well, see, that's the thing though. If you pay attention to the art and the way that the ship is made, it is exact. Did you ever play the video game Forsaken?
Yeah.
It is exactly
Yeah.
that. It's huge hallways.
Yep.
There's these big rooms. It's all this like metallic yellow.
Yep.
Like, and that's the thing is like,
Lots of hazard stripes.
yeah. And that's the thing is like, it doesn't look it, but if you look at all of the video games for Aliens, it nails it.
Oh yeah.
Like it nails it exactly. It doesn't, it like movie wise watching it, it's action, not horror, but the atmosphere is all that like mechanical horror.
I would say that they're like thriller.
Yeah, thriller. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
action
So to-
thriller or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it.
So to jump into some other properties, since you brought up the massive interior spaces, Star Wars with the interior spaces and scenes in both of the Death Stars, as well as the sequences that we see inside the Star Destroyers and other massive ships, kind of has that same thing. Notably in Episode 4, which was done in 1977, the prison escape or rescue of Princess Leia, they end up in that trash compactor, and there's a monster hiding
Oh,
underneath the
yeah.
trash that
Oh,
grabs
yeah.
Luke. There's also all of those like really tight laser battles in the corridors of both the Death Star and the Bespin Cloud City, but then they'll turn a fucking corner and they transition from these really tight corridors into these just massive interior
Hangar bay
spaces
or something. Yeah.
Fucking Star Wars loves that like endless pit inside of a spaceship or a
definitely.
battle station. And also the
Doom pit
massive
to
hangar
nowhere.
bays.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be in these tight corridors and all of this like kind of confusing maze-like thing, and then you run out and there's this window and there's a fucking Millennium Falcon and like 20 TIE fighters, and you're like, what the hell is this giant space inside this spaceship?
Star Wars also uses a lot of gantries in
Yep.
those
Yep.
transitions, because that way you're not like dumped into this big space. You've transitioned into a small part of this bigger space.
They managed
Gantry
to
isn't it
keep it.
catwalk?
Yeah, they managed to keep
Why
it
did you
at
say catwalk, Kevin?
I like the word gantry better.
because they managed to
Fine.
keep it tight and claustrophobic while also just sharing the massive sense of scale.
Right, you get the bigger sense of scale, but it still confines what could be happening to a narrow kind of area.
And a podcast favorite, Event Horizon, which was released in 1997,
My favorite
Spookiest
movie.
of dookies.
which is hinted at by the director, who is the same guy that did all the Mila Jovanovic Resident Evil films, to be an unofficial pre-40k movie.
Was she in Event Horizon?
She was not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember her being in it.
No.
She's probably like 12.
I don't think they were married yet, because she was probably like
She's
12.
way younger than him, right?
She has to be. Well, actually, I don't know. When did the first Resident Evil movie come out? Like 99?
Yeah.
No, it
that
was
sounds
later
right.
than that.
So Event Horizon came
No, it
out in
was like- it was in,
97.
like,
Like
my high
2000,
school.
2001?
It was-
No, no way, dude. It was like
Because I
middle
saw
school.
it in theaters. And
it
there's
came
no
out.
way I
It
could've-
came out in 2002.
That's middle school for me. I'm
Yeah.
also the youngest here.
Yeah.
So I think she was like 22 or 23 in that film. So in 97, she would have been like. I mean, I don't really know how
I'm
old she
sorry,
is.
she didn't age
Anyway.
extremely well, but
So
moving
Event
on.
Horizon depicts using a black hole to breach normal space into a dimension that allows faster than light travel.
It's called a gravity drive.
That dimension ends up being part of or very close to the idea of hell. And again, there's a lot of tight, dark, claustrophobic hallways, a lot of failing lights, buttloads of techno arcana crap
a lot
everywhere.
of lack of Geller fields.
A lot of meat grinder
Yeah.
tunnels.
And then they mix in all of these horror elements, and then like self-mutilation and what does
some
sanity
Hellraiser
mean,
shit.
Yeah, Hellraiser,
and all
yeah,
sorts
One
of
very much
shit.
thing that I
Hellraiser.
liked about Event Horizon specifically is the length of the ship
Oh yeah,
leaves that giant, so long of a hallway you can't see the other end of it, which
yeah.
gives to that like it's
Ominous.
claustrophobic,
Weird.
but it's also bigger. Than
It's
you
hard-
can- like you can't
It's
see it all at
hard
once,
to
but you're still
understand-
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand why you're claustrophobic.
Right, in something so large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very legitimately, Techno Arcana, there's the giant fucking like sphere in the middle that's just
Oh, the
hovering
big
there.
whirly gig.
No one ever explains why it works, but it fucking works.
Yeah.
It's Techno Arcana right there.
Oh,
gig.
what you mean the
whirly gig
gateway?
drive.
Yeah, the gateway thing.
Yeah, those are magnetic rings. Those are what stabilize the black hole.
That's
Right.
how they like rip open time
Yeah,
and space.
They
essentially.
they stabilize it with 3 electromagnetic
Yeah,
rings.
yeah. But again, like it's techno magic. It's just
Oh, yeah,
weird
no, it's not
techno
real, but-
yeah.
It's light up rings that spin around in a circle.
Yeah.
Why that works doesn't matter. It's
I don't know.
sci-fi.
Man,
All
when you set
all,
dress
like,
for a sci-fi movie, you're like, oh, this is a weird egg crate. I'll spray paint this silver and attach it to a
Think
wall.
about it this way: if we want to, kind of stick with that Doc Ock when he makes that crazy reactor thing.
Oh, yeah.
Also got spinny rings.
Also, techno babble.
Techno, a whole bunch
techno
of techno
arcana.
the biggest thing about that room
Stargate?
was the fucking
Stargate has
Yeah.
big spinny disc.
no. The
thing.
biggest thing about that room where the gravity drive was held was those giant fuck off spikes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and it was like on a ball,
Giant-
right?
No.
They were coming
On
from
the
out of
walls.
room,
That's right, they were
too.
coming-
Yeah, they were
walls.
all like surrounded by these giant
Oh my
fuck
God,
off
guys.
impaling spikes. Like
I'm really,
Vlad was like, sup.
I'm really sorry. I was thinking of the beryllium sphere from.
Oh yeah, that
Galaxy
too.
Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this sounds familiar. Dude, I love that movie.
And they
That
turn
movie
on
was
the
great.
turn on
I
the
love
translator,
that
and all the little aliens are going.
Redneck,
"Rock,
redneck,
rock,
redneck."
rock." And they're like, "What's a redneck?"
Rock?
movie. I fucking love that movie, dude.
Never give up. Never,
Never
surrender.
The whole other part,
So-
Sigourney Weaver again.
Oh yeah, she was in that one.
Yeah.
So then Pandorum, which came out in 2009.
I was one
don't
of
remember
the
that one.
I was one of the first people to ever watch that movie in my group of
I
friends.
actually watched that in the theaters.
yeah,
I have
dude,
not
it
seen that
was
movie.
amazing. It is
So-
so good.
In an effort not to spoil it for you, in this case, the story is placed literally on a ship that is lost somewhere in deep space, possibly for generations,
say it ain't so.
Power and system failures are punctuate most of the story act and drive the story, leaving the characters in large spaces but incredibly dark and claustrophobic environments.
Who's the antagonist?
To add to it more, there are scenes that take place in carnal pits full of human remains.
Ooh.
Most of the ship is actively falling apart and breaking, like you're talking about. And the monsters, the mutants, look a lot like gene stealers.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to.
I'm gonna
I'll have to watch
this.
I'm probably
yeah,
watch it
no,
tonight.
dude, it is.
Pandorum is amazing.
It is just okay. So the one of the main things for me, one, Dennis Quaid is in it,
Yeah, Dennis.
Ooh.
and
Yep.
Dennis
That's
Quaid,
good.
yeah.
You-
his character is like, I love him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. 100%.
The other guy, what's
The
his
younger
name?
kid?
He was in The Mechanic.
Hold on.
What's his
Mechanist?
name?
Or
The one with Jason Statham. Do you know what I'm talking about? He was like a hitman.
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster. What other movies is he in?
Can't put a face to him.
God, I only know that
And there's also there's a couple.
the chick. God, what was she in?
She's a German actress.
Yeah, she was in another movie that
Norman
I was like,
Norman
I love her.
Reedus is in Pandorum.
Oh.
Not for very long, but he's in Pandorum.
Yeah, literally like a couple seconds.
So he was in Punisher, X-Men: The Last Stand, Alpha Dog, The Messenger, Pandorum, The Mechanic, Contraband, Kill Your Darling. Lone
The Navy
Survival.
SEAL movie. Yeah, the Lone Survivor. Do
Yep.
you remember that movie? Did you watch
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Lone Survivor. The blonde dude who's kind of a dick, and he's the one who's like leaning up against a tree, shooting at him with a pistol when he gets shot.
Oh,
That guy
The-
plays
the one that gets decked in the head.
Yeah, like he's just sitting against a tree,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
when he dies. He
I
gets
love
shot
that
in the-
dude.
Okay, that dude is the main character in
Oh.
Pandorum.
Oh, God,
and,
I gotta watch
and-
it.
Okay.
And one of the other characters, Cam Gidgedent, is like a super pretty boy and plays like his opposite in the movie, which is great.
Yeah. So the thing about that, right? Like one, the German actress or whoever she is, I've seen her in another movie and I love her to death. The main thing I like about it is that they have cryosleep, right?
Yeah.
And the way that the ship was meant to operate was that people would wake up throughout certain periods,
They would rake a new crew every like 7 years. or
something like that, right?
so they'd
So that it
rotate.
was always crewed, right?
Right.
Well, this dude wakes up, and because this is what I loved about it is that like the effects of cryosleep, memory loss,
Right.
just what do they call it?
No, I thought you were gonna say
Disorienting.
Disorientation,
Like you get the shakes.
yeah. And then
That's a common
the
one.
best part for me, the part that I really liked, was the skin growth.
Yep.
Right. So because they're in like
they like
they have to like
peel-
rip off their
Like, peel
skin.
off
Yeah.
the old
It's
skin.
so
Like,
cool.
yeah,
It's
because-
so fucking cool.
because
but
they're
it's
in a
creepy.
dry-
Like
Yeah.
the Matrix shit.
Well, they're not in a wet tank. They're in a dry tank.
Yeah.
Right. And they're all suspended and like they have like the air tubes go into their throat. Because when he wakes up, the
They have
problem
to
with the ship
unintubate
is
themselves.
that they're having like power troubles. So like the power comes on indiscriminately
Yeah.
and like random intervals. So he wakes up and the power's only on for a couple seconds. And in those seconds, he's like trying to figure out what's going on. And he has to like pull out this air hose.
Right.
And when
Kinda
he
like
falls
Matrix.
out of the ship, right, or when he falls out of the cryo tube, he's having to pull all the plugs out of him, right, the tubes. But he's
yeah,
got
there's
so
no
much
medical
skin
crew.
growth that like
They're like stuck.
the skin is grown over everything, so he has to literally peel off layers of his skin
It's
of
like
like
a
dead
body.
skin that doesn't fall
Yeah,
off.
it's like a dead skin. It's like a snake that hasn't shed
So
its
so
skin,
why
essentially.
does the skin not fall off? Because there's no
'Cause they're
gravity.
not, they're not moving to like,
Yeah.
stretch it.
Yeah.
So
and
as it
shower
j-
and whatnot.
Yeah.
they're not showering it
So the
off.
fact that
It's
they paid
not-
attention to that detail, I was like, oh, this is great.
I like
And then
it.
the other
Like,
thing
why-
the other thing that I really like is that in the universe of the movie, deep space travel is a thing that that humanity understands.
Right.
And there are certain symptoms which focus around a disease called Pandorum. And Dennis Quaid, one of the first things Dennis Quaid says to the other character, Bauer, which is played by Ben Foster, is, do you know the symptoms of Pandorum?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen
She was in Man of Steel.
Sex, Love, and Robots?
Bad guy.
Yes.
Have you
I
seen
haven't.
all of them?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new season.
That's what it was.
but
She's the hot chick from Man of Steel.
Yeah, she's the bad guy.
She's the hot Kryptonian.
Have you guys seen all of Sex, Love, and Robots?
Yeah, of course.
Of the first
I saw
season?
the whole
First
I've
season,
seen the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
first season.
Dude,
You're
The
talking
dude,
about
that
the
spider
dude, the
demon?
spider
Oh my
demon
God.
dude. Yeah,
Oh
right.
my god.
Spider
Yeah.
lady.
That shit fucked me up.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
That fucked me up hard.
Demon dude.
So
The guy, they
There's
go through like a warp.
This guy makes a jump to light speed essentially, And then
I don't know if we want to ruin it though.
I've seen the whole thing.
You don't remember it?
You don't remember?
I'll have to
Remember the
rewatch
guy?
it.
He jumps to hyperspace and then he ends up lost.
Yeah.
And he finds
He's basically
yeah,
too
yeah.
far out
Yeah.
in
and
the
then the
universe.
girl's like,
He's in the boonies.
Yes.
and the girl's
She's like, I
"No,
do
it's-"
love you.
And then
Yep,
she's
I
like,
know which one you're
she's
talking
like,
about.
I have to show you a secret, and shows her like true form, and he goes
Yeah.
fucking crazy. And then she just has to like, oh, well, I guess
She's
I'll just
like-
wake up the next
she's like-
person on the ship and
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit fucked me up. I was like, oh.
So
you watched the whole set of Love versus Robots, right?
Yeah.
The
Or
whole
it's
first
love,
season, yeah.
Love, sex, whatever.
Love,
it's called.
Death, and Robots.
So the very last episode of the first season, where that like Russian, it's the CGI one where the Russian military takes on like werewolves or
yeah,
something.
that was so
Dude.
cool.
100% 40k vibes.
Oh,
yeah.
a whole bunch
That
of them had 40K
entire
vibes.
one is 40k vibes.
That one was 40K vibes, and then the farmers on the frontier with their little
that
That was my
had
favorite.
Titan.
that
That
is
had Titan
basically
That was
Nice.
absolutely
Or-
my favorite.
that is
Night vibes.
basically Imperial Knights.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
100%.
That was
That is
straight
what
up.
Imperial Knights
Were for.
did.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
they
was
were
straight up my
protect Fringe
favorite
Worlds.
ones
That one
out
was
of all
sick.
of them.
I like the dropship one too. The dropship one was super cool.
Oh, the unlucky one?
I actually
Oh, yeah,
really-
that was good.
I actually really liked the second one where the three robots are touring, like
Oh, yeah.
the one with the cat in it.
I think I
It
liked
fucking
all
made
of
me
them.
laugh so
Yeah,
much.
the cat one is hilarious. That one was great.
I really like the very first one too, with the like.
the
So,
fighting
so,
pit.
so the
the
funny thing
kaiju
about
fighters.
so the funny thing about Love, Death, and Robots is nobody watched it in the same order. I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you go, and
Oh,
you talk
really?
to your friend, yeah. So Netflix,
Oh, it
shuffled
randomized the
those.
order.
Yeah, so when people are like,
that's
"Oh, did you watch?
dope.
Did you watch the first episode of Love, Death, and
No
Robots?"
way.
And they're like, "Yeah, with the
That's super
werewolves,"
dope.
and they're like, "No, with the robots." No. The first episode was the werewolves.
because
so it's like, oh shit.
That's super dope.
Because when
right?
you said second episode with the robots, that was like 6 for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that was like fourth for me.
Interesting.
The first one was the monster pit.
I
That
think
was
the first one is always Monster Pit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
Because that's like a good entry.
because the last one was the stupid one with the girl that's like running away from the dude.
Yeah, that one was.
That
weird.
was the middle for me.
Oh, that was the last one. I hated
that one was a trip though.
the second to last one that we watched was the one with the like the entire universe inside the freezer.
Oh, that was like
that
the
was
third
dude,
or
that
fourth
was
one.
fucking
trying to
weird as
remember.
shit.
I
I liked it, but it was weird
I
as
didn't.
shit.
I was like, this is fucking boring.
they're not long enough to be boring. Anyway, so Tom, you were gonna say something.
Oh well,
Sorry.
yeah, going back to Pandorum. The fact that they paid attention to that type of thing, made it really well because there's explanations for everything.
Yeah,
like
I like
the
that.
reason why everything is the way that it is, there's an explanation for it.
Oh yeah,
And it's backed, like the fact that like what we're not going to talk about
Yes.
of the why they were there.
Yeah.
That's explained.
Yeah.
And it's like explained because
so-
there was this
well,
thing.
the reason that there's weird gene stealer
Yeah,
things
exactly,
on the ship
yeah,
is
yeah.
explained.
So the whole skin thing, though, the whole point of cryosleep is to not to age while you're moving, right?
So
It
what
slows
would have
down
happened?
aging almost completely.
So what should have happened was medical staff should have helped him, but there was no medical staff because he's being woken up in an emergency situation.
Right,
because
right.
of
But my
power
point is like the
failure.
overgrowth of skin that wouldn't happen.
Well, that
if
wouldn't
you're-
happen because he wouldn't have been sleeping that long.
Oh, okay.
He should have been woken up before then,
Way before.
Yeah.
that.
and there would have been medical staff to assist in the debarkation.
Yeah,
of the
Wa-
pod.
watch it tonight.
Yes, that is happening.
because he was in stasis for so long.
Yeah.
Because the skin growth is slowed down because they're in cryo,
Right.
But because he was in there for so long, like we're talking
Like
lots
3 or
of
4
lots,
times
like
longer than he
lots
should have
long
been.
time,
Longer than he should have been.
lot
Gotcha.
longer.
Okay,
The skin overgrew everything,
Yeah, yeah.
and the fact that they showed that, I was like, man,
He was
that's awesome.
extremely ashy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like squiddy, more like squiddy, like
Use some lotion.
yeah.
So there's also a lot of great underwater movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I touched on those earlier today.
yeah.
Dude.
So like Sphere.
Sphere.
Yeah, I remember when you were
Mhm.
talking about
Deep
that
Blue
one.
Sea is a big one
Shut
for me.
up, Deep Blue
Deep
Sea.
Blue
Deep,
Sea
Deep
is
Blue,
alright.
Deep Blue Sea is fun as shit.
Deep
Dude.
blue sea, my head is like a shark fin. Deep is blue, my head is like a shark fin.
Leviathan.
Leviathan is one of my all-time favorites, along with Deep Star 6.
Yep, Deep Star 6. The
I don't
Abyss.
remember those ones. The Abyss is awesome.
The Abyss is okay.
The
It,
Abyss
it has a lot of those dark corridors. The Abyss is also old.
Yeah.
Really
oh,
old.
well,
It's a very
So is
for how
most of
old it
these are
is,
old
it's
movies.
phenomenal.
I mean, Leviathan was 1989. Deep Star 6 was 1989. The Sphere was 1998. That's
Sphere was
newer.
a good one, and that one actually scared me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
That one gave me all kinds of creeps.
I read the entire book for Sphere on a road trip, like in the first day. I couldn't put it.
See, that was like one of the first times where someone had said, like, you should read the book. And I was like, absolutely not. Because that movie, one, confused the hell out of me. I had to watch it a couple times.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get it at first when I was a kid. It just became too, like, you just get to the point where, like, this is scary.
I devoured Michael Crichton when I was like that age. Anyway,
I didn't realize he wrote it.
The chick outside with their boot hitting the fucking side of the habitat. Yeah. Oh god, dude, I can't.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the? It's newer, and I almost put it on the list, and I decided not to, but I'm gonna throw it on now. Have you guys seen the movie Underwater?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, that movie is fucking amazing.
Really?
I loved Underwater.
I hated it.
I loved Underwater until they revealed the monster.
I hated everything in it except for their suits.
They broke the cardinal rule with the reveal.
Oh yeah, I know. They fucking here's Cthulhu.
Like Blair Witch.
Yeah, like Blair Witch 3.
The new Blair Witch.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't like it. I like the fact. I like the fact that
it's the staff. It's the actors.
I actually thought that what's her face? Kristen Stewart. I actually thought she did really good in that movie.
No,
Mary Jane.
No, Twilight. The Twilight.
She just has this face
of non-emotion.
No, she's just it's always bucktooth. she's always got her mouth open a little bit, showing her front teeth.
If you haven't seen Underwater, you should watch Underwater.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's what she looks like.
Tom's looking at me.
That's what she looks like. The whole, no matter what, that is her face.
She always she has the perpetual deer in the headlights look.
No, she literally always looks like this.
I wish I could. I wish I could take a picture.
That is a face. Though.
That is what her face is.
Like when you talk about there's only so many versions of people. You know,
yeah.
Mark's
like if you were to make a mold, you'd probably only end up with like 25 different people.
I think probably more, but yeah.
I broke Mark.
That was something
we'll buy a new one.
That was something I noticed.
Uncask a new one.
Is that like a Marine would walk in and I'd be like, "Oh, there's model A."
Oh no. There are only 25 types of Marines. I 100% agree with you with that.
And they are popping carbies of each other.
No,
there's the red cran Marine, there's the purple cran Marine, there's the yellow cran Marine, there's the blue. Somebody get a Crayola box. I got to figure out the rest.
But that look that Tom's talking about with a little bit of the two front teeth exposed.
Little bit.
Well, I mean, it's very
the bucktooth. She got a cotton mouth at all times.
So I really liked that movie because it starts with a disaster. It places them in a very, very bad, precarious place. And the entire movie is reacting. The entire movie of Underwater is reacting to the disaster. And I can get over
kind of like Dante's
not
Peak.
Liking a specific actor based on the way that they react.
Yeah, Dante's Peak was good.
I like that movie.
I thought
not really Space Hulk vibes, but I like that movie.
But that he was saying reacting to the disaster, and that's basically what that entire movie was.
The grandma.
I felt that she did okay in that.
Yeah. I mean, acting wise, she did fine. I just can't. Her face.
The weird thing with that movie was fucking TJ Hooker's in it, the comedian.
I mean, that's not. Oh, you mean like
not a T?
Oh, I was like,
he was.
Like, why is that?
Well, see, what I really, the guy who plays HUD in Cloverfield, he's got that little like the stuffed bunny that he's like, take care of this. Like that dude, he did great. Like I thought he did great, and I love the costumes, like the water
TJ Miller, not TJ Hooker. TJ Hooker is a television show.
Yeah, I was gonna say that has like William Shatner.
What is it about?
Not what you think it's about.
No, TJ Hooker's William Shatner, and he's a cop. No, so that dude, the dude who plays, I can't remember his name in Underwater, but their suits, like their dive suits, I thought were epic. They're basically fucking like Master Chief suits.
Oh, that's dope.
And the costume, the way, like the filming, the scariness of like going out into the water, like the pressure, because they're literally at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Yeah,
that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, so the pressure,
I hate this movie already.
Dude, there is a scene where like basically a dude pops.
Yep.
And it is epic.
Dude,
like
there is a sequence. The fucking cool ass sequence is where the tube they're in is crushed.
Yeah.
And in order to get out of the tube they're in and advance, somebody has to walk across the ocean floor to like this little tiny outbuilding. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like, I like the filming of it. I like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
But they ruined it with the monsters.
They
Like,
100% ruined. Never show the monster.
well,
we
even
knew-
the like
we
little
knew-
monsters, I was like,
well,
this is dumb.
The
Like,
first time the little monsters attack in that hallway, amazing, because you don't see them.
when they finally
sh-
yanked them underneath the
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah.
When they finally reveal the
These like
monsters,
fish people. Like,
yeah,
from-
basically.
from,
It's- did you ever see
Aquaman.
Cowboys and Aliens?
No.
I wanted
that movie's
to.
fucking
That's-
Well, like
hysterical.
I heard it was
Aquaman, they have like
terrible,
the trench
but I
people.
still
It's
want to
fun.
go
It's
see
kind
it.
of like
fun.
that.
No.
They're not like trench people.
No. It literally the monsters look like the aliens from Cowboys and Aliens. They look like frogs.
Oh, so they don't look like
based-
anglerfish with
they
legs.
Yeah, basically, they look like frog people.
They based
Okay.
the monsters in, and oddly enough, they based the monsters in that movie off of Dagon and the underwater, what are they called? The firstborn, the fish people or whatever?
Yeah.
From the story, the short story in that is titled something of Innsmouth,
All
which
right,
is
fuck,
where
fuck,
we
fuck
got
it.
our,
Let's move on. Let's move on.
which is where
Next
we,
movie.
which is where we got our the name for the podcast.
basically,
And Dagon is also another movie probably based on those same people.
basically the
100%.
monster
Dagon
at
is
the
a
end
elder.
is Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's Cthulhu.
It's,
Oh.
it's that.
It's literally Cthulhu.
Deep ones, that's what they're
it's-
called.
Yeah,
Deep
deep
ones.
It's literally Cthulhu, like straight up Cthulhu. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's terrifying. Like, not a lot of things scare me. The ocean, like
The
deep.
Yeah.
shadow over.
no,
fucking
that's what I'm
scare
saying.
me.
Well,
I'm gonna
have
tell
you
you-
ever seen Leviathan?
No.
Yeah, Leviathan's really good.
Leviathan and Deep Star 6, they're basically the Thing underwater.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
fuck that.
Like, that's why they're so
that.
good. Like,
Did you see the movie with it takes place on a cruise ship? I think Jamie Curtis is in it, and like something weird happens.
Virus?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
The weird AI
Hell
thing.
yeah.
Virus is dope. Not very Space Hulk vibes, but
I
dope.
don't know. I mean, I think
Like the last five
it's
movies haven't been very.
no.
space
Virus,
Hulk
Virus, I would chalk
Underwater
up.
stuff is pretty Space
Is it?
Hulky. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh,
why,
yeah,
that's why
like,
like
if
Deep
you-
Star 6 and stuff like that's what I'm
The-
saying.
Or
All
fucking
the-
the Poseidon adventure where the cruise ship is
It's
underwater.
upside
Yep,
down.
yep.
Titanic.
Everything's
Yeah.
crazy.
Fuck Titanic.
Titanic
Fuck that
is
bitch.
not
Dude.
Space Hulk
Fuck that
vibes.
Yeah,
Stupid
well,
bitch.
dude, they're underwater and like it's all tight.
The reason that Poseidon
I can
is
fly,
Space
Jack.
Hulky is because it's flipped over. It's entirely underwater,
Yeah.
and everything is breaking.
or like Deep
down.
Blue Sea when the little like
Stop talking about Deep Blue Sea.
the thing
I love
sinks.
Deep Blue Sea.
I do.
fuck-
love it
I
so
got so
much.
the
It's a
last
fun
time the
movie.
last time I flew to England that was playing, I had to watch it 8 times,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Because there was nothing else on.
I'm sorry, man.
LL Cool J.
I
in the
can
crowd,
see.
bro.
I can
A
see why you
50-foot
don't
shark
like
and
that
you hit
movie.
me.
Samuel
And that
Jackson.
stupid bitch who jumps into the water and is like, I'll distract him. And she makes a stupid fat face
Yep.
and it eats her in 3 fucking seconds.
fucking
Completely
gold.
disregards
It's so
anything.
And Samuel Jackson's fucking speech about not
Yeah.
being the guy who's gonna get eaten,
Yeah.
and then he gets fucking eaten.
Dude, when the dude gets eaten
know
and his
what,
legs like twitching underwater, you're just like, oh, it's so good.
It occurred to me earlier when you guys were talking about Milo Wotsevich.
Mila
but,
Jovovich?
Jovanovic.
Jovovich.
It's not the whole movie, but the sections of Resident Evil that take place in the Hive,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Space
that is
Hulky.
very Space Hulky.
Yeah,
And
like with the
and
Red Queen and
the
shit.
things that make it Space Hulky, like you were saying, underwater doesn't really do it, but the things that separate, like when you're underground, when you're underwater, and when you're in space, you can't just get out.
Yeah,
Like
Right,
there's-
yeah.
the
You're
wall
stuck.
is a physical barrier that if you were to go on the other side of,
You gonna
infinite
die.
Infinite space. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no option of like
Oh, I
in
can
Jurassic
swim.
Park, they can just like
Dip.
dip, like and get off the island. Like in Alien, there's no
Like
like
swim for your life.
there's no way to get
In
off. the ship.
Jurassic Park, they could just dip. They could just leave the island, except for all the fucking dinosaurs trying to eat them.
Right.
The
Yeah,
entire
it was
time.
just one.
But they can still dip.
But they could, well,
It was just like 2.
and the fact is, like, also they could just if they hide long enough, help will come eventually.
Right, right.
In Alien, that's not the case. In Deep Blue Sea, that's not the case.
Predator wasn't the case.
Predator wasn't the case.
You had to fight back, man.
yeah. Basically,
I'm
in
here.
all these, in all
I'm
these,
here, come kill
and
me.
that's especially like we use Deep Star 6 bottom of the Mariana Trench. Like you could go outside the
Just swim up, bro.
thing. And well,
no, dig up, stupid. Dig up.
But that's the thing is, being on the bottom of the ocean, you can't just swim to the top.
Yeah.
You'll get the bends.
Well, you'll just die from the pressure.
The reason that deep underwater
is going up too fast to where I think your lungs explode or something.
It's too much nitrogen
bubbles
builds up
develop
in your blood
as it decompresses.
Yeah.
The reason that
What
deep sea stuff is the same as deep space stuff is the environment outside will kill you and it's lightless.
Right.
That's the reason there's a lot of comparisons between super underwater stuff. Like a habitat underwater where a bunch of like the Abyss or Underwater or Deep Star 6.
I was just talking about
almost like a moon base.
I was just talking about the general pressure of the water though. Like you can't just swim.
Well, a human body definitely, but even in a suit or something.
Yeah.
Any suit that could withstand that pressure would stop you from being able to swim, effectively leaving you trapped at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
Which is like almost worse than space.
What's the movie with Guy Pearce where they're on the prison space habitat?
Lockout?
Oh my God, Lockout!
I fucking love that.
Fucking love that.
I fucking love it
Fucking
so
love
much.
that movie.
It's so good.
Gerard Butler isn't in it. There's two.
So good.
There's two crazy.
If you haven't seen Lockout, oh my fucking God, that guy is amazing.
That entire movie is a fucking one-liner.
It's so good.
I just showed my girlfriend Running Man the other night.
Oh yes, dude.
And she's like, "Oh my God!" It's like, "Cool off." You know, like,
I watched.
Like, she was fucking like Batman and Mr. Freeze. Everybody chill.
I was like, "Babe, you have to understand. This is the time of these types of movies."
What was the one where he impales the dude on the steam pipe? I was thinking this when you brought up the steam pipes earlier, and he's like, "You need to blow off some steam."
Commando. That was Commando.
Don't bother my friend. He's sleeping. He fucking breaks the dude's neck on the airplane.
That was Eraser.
Don't bother my friend. He's sleeping.
Yep, that was Eraser. The first quote of the steam was Commando.
Commando.
Oh my God.
Fucking movie.
I could literally place those quotes. Like I know where they're from. I was telling her all about those types of movies. I was like, you have to understand, this is the time for that.
Yeah.
Because he's like literally like he hits like, was it Buzzkill or Buzzsaw? He like splits him in half. He's like, oh, he had to split. And my girlfriend was like, oh my God. And I was like, yep.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Oh God, damn, dude.
But
Last Action Hero is such a great movie that
that's a really good
underappreciated.
one.
Like people don't understand the amount of fun that they were taking, the piss they were trying to take out of Hollywood with that movie.
Oh yeah.
You had some closing thoughts on movies before we dive into our main topic, Kevin?
I mean, it was just that was another, and it shares a lot of those things. The Hive from it shares the breaking down of technology.
Yep.
The creepy monsters lurking in the hallways.
These are all the vibes that you would get.
Yeah, all the vibes. You get the same vibes from underwater, in space. And I mean, the whole movie doesn't give off, those vibes, obviously.
Yeah.
Because only a very limited section of it actually takes place in that very small section. But the narrow hallways, the tech failing, creepy AI stuff, monsters lurking all over the place.
Yeah. It's pretty dope. And then of course there's video games that also capture Doom.
Doom is basically
any of the early first-person shooters.
I was just gonna say the early Wolfenstein,
Marathon. They all have like space hulky vibes to them.
Oh, System Shock is kind of and BioShock as well.
Because you need it.
Oh, BioShock,
Underwater, utilizing underwater.
Dead Space.
Dead Space, great one,
very, very,
very
big
when
fucking space hulk vibes.
Brainstorming earlier, that was one of the ones that even the movie. Because there's a movie and a game, for those of you who don't know.
There is an interesting anime.
I think there's 2 movies, isn't there now?
Yeah, I think there's
they're animated movies.
They're
both animated.
And there's something else. They've got it, and I said anime, but the first one has
Western.
has a kind of Aeon Fluxy vibe. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's
a little bit. Yeah, definitely. It's the modern Western style.
Yeah, the aside of Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to get into our main topic today, which is Space Hulks, we're going to start off by talking about what is a Space Hulk.
Which we kind of did.
I already did.
Yeah.
It's a big pile of ships.
We're going to define it a little bit better. So it's a term used by the Imperium of Man to identify massive collections of space wreckage and derelict starships. These drift throughout the void of space without direction, often jumping in and out of the warp at random. Space hulks are rarely encountered as they travel mostly on the ripples and whims of the warp, only occasionally re-emerging into real space. With the immense distances of real space, that means that you're not really going to come across one that often unless you're sort of looking for one or you're unlucky. These are most often massive smashed together or melded together collections of multiple ships and various bits of other space debris, not just a single ship. So this isn't a ghost ship. This is a bunch of ghost ships. They're often large enough to have their own trapped atmosphere and gravity. Sometimes this is the remains of life support systems, or other times it could be massive lost technologies.
That's
but
no moon.
in some cases, it's literally just the fucking space hulk is big enough to have an atmosphere and gravity.
I mean, you could almost say it's the size of a craft world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of them are bigger.
I mean, they all vary in size, but yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. No. That's one thing to note is no two space hulks are the same, right? Because it's
Exactly. They're
literally
like snowflakes. The snowflakes of the warp.
Yeah, because it's literally just the leftovers. Like
It wasn't an asshole or
That's
a dick,
No.
Ryan.
It's the way that Snowflake has been used over the last couple of years with the internet, and you're like, they're the snowflakes of the warp.
No,
and I'm just hearing a space hulk be like, "Where is my pumpkin spice?" It's just mad that pumpkin spice season is over, so it comes out of the warp. It's like, I'm sorry, I should be locked up.
I was just. I'm not gonna bother with that one.
You don't want to get in this pumpkin spice? Come on, it's spooky season. Pumpkin spice.
No, I was gonna go on the space hulk would like to know if you assumed its gender.
I did. I assumed it was a space hulk. I'm sorry.
You're getting canceled, Kevin. How dare you?
I know, right?
So yeah, how are space hulks created, you might wonder? So the Milky Way galaxy is big.
When a mommy space hulk and a daddy
Dead
space hulk love each other very much.
But something just doesn't go right.
So to quote Douglas Adams, space is big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-boggling big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the road to the drugstore, but that's just peanuts to space.
On that note, there, like, it's not everybody's been on a ship, like an actual boat, but being so far out that you can't see land is like a weird experience.
Oh yeah.
Or you flew transatlantic to England, you know, and you look out the window and like you're literally super high in the air and you still can't see anything.
Yep.
Like you were that far from everything. Now in space, it's that, but it's more like infinite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like that just knowing that you were that far away from things is its own level of just mind-boggling massiveness.
Oh yeah. So in order to travel the distances involved in interstellar space, the Imperium and the other Xenos and the other spacefaring Xenos races utilize something called the warp. So we've talked about the warp in past episodes, but to give you a quick update or a quick refresher, I guess, the warp is an extra-dimensional space that exists next to the material universe. It's filled with demons and horrors, but also allows faster than light travel sometimes, when it may or may not feel like it. So basically it's the LA highway system.
Yeah, sometimes you're going 85, sometimes you're not.
And it's always filled with monsters.
Oh yeah. I got lucky. It was a good day on traffic on today.
Oh, yeah.
The warp was kind to me.
The warp was kind to you. So the warp is an incredibly dangerous place. It's full of warp storms, monstrous creatures, and demons, and it isn't uncommon for an entire starship to be wiped clean of life. This could be due to demons, ship failures, murder sprees of those on board the ships, starvation, or even mass suicides. These lifeless ghost ships can be left to drift for centuries. But the warp has an effect on the surface of the material realm, and these ghost ships are often targeted by the warp and are caught up in currents and drawn towards nexus points in space. When ships collect in enough numbers for the warp to do its next bit, it'll smash them together into titanic amalgamations, which we call space hulks. At times, even multiple space hulks can be smashed and melded together.
Ooh.
So, as Tom alluded to earlier, some space hulks may be incredibly small and only have a couple of ships that are merged together, and some are much older and more ancient and can house hundreds of thousands of cubic kilometers.
Fun house from hell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, the dangers of space hulks. The accumulation of all of these factors makes space hulks extremely large and almost indestructible. They come back into the Imperium even stronger than when they left. Operational space hulks can be relatively harmless.
Just that they when they come back into the Imperium, they're not always like super crazy, like I'm gonna murder everything.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
they're just
They're
a
not.
piece
They're just there.
They're
It's
not
just a piece of
super
material.
weapon
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a car
and then there's
crash.
some that come out and they're like, oh my god, this thing is essentially a Death Star.
It depends. Okay. Yeah, it actually depends on whether or not the space hulk is being utilized. And we'll get into the
Right,
different races that utilize them.
That's what I was saying. Like, well, operational ones. Like it
Oh, so an operational space hulk. Okay. Got you. So yeah, they skip in and out of the warp without the protection of a fully functional Geller field, which allows all sorts of warp fuckery to ensue. So we haven't really dipped a lot into the technology behind the Imperium and how it works, but one of the ways that people are protected in the warp is with the Geller field, which basically keeps the warp outside of the ship when you're traveling through the warp. And not having a Geller field is a bad day.
always.
It'd be like
Unless
trying
you're
to-
orcs.
It's like trying to drive through a swarm of bees with all your windows down.
Right. No, like a swarm of hornets.
Yeah, unless you're orcs. Then it's a good time.
Bees are like, yeah, the sure, that's a good time.
It's like trying to drive through a swarm of hornets with your windows down, open wounds, and people spraying lemon juice on you.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good, sounds like a good time.
When your car is filled with broken glass and deadly
Yeah,
vipers.
exactly.
So, space hulks are mazes of twisted wreckage and shifting amalgamations of multiple starships, space stations, and other space junk. They are impossible to map, and in some cases, they are ever shifting. Get back to that Hell House,
Yeah, dude.
Fun
God,
House
you-
from Hell. They are also a breeding ground for Tyranids known as gene stealers, and it has even been theorized by some xenobiologists that the hive mind might be able to nudge a space hulk towards a target if it's close enough. Gene stealers can lie in wait for centuries in kind of a stasis-like hibernation deep inside of a space hulk.
I always kind of wondered how long it took gene stealers to starve to death, but if they can suspend and animate, then that makes sense.
There are also one-off bioforms that can lay in wait with the gene stealers to reinforce them or even start an invasion if a space hulk gets close enough to a planet.
Mm-hmm. That is actually what's going on in Deathwing.
Yes.
Well, kind of. In that one, the Space Hulk pops out of the warp, the Hive fleet sees it, and sends a splinter to go infest it. So that way they can use it as a mothership as it drifts through an Imperial system.
Yeah, and basically it's because of stuff like that happening, a lot of the higher up magoses of the Mechanicus that study xenobiology think that the hive mind might be able to manipulate the warp and space hulks in order to help them.
Yeah. I always kind of thought it was more like legit physically.
I think it is. I think it like so we haven't covered Tyranids
and
yet,
there's
but
not a lot of
Tyranids
specifically.
have a ship called the
narwhal
The
thing, right?
Leviathan?
the narwhal
The narwhal thing.
Fuck, what's the name of it?
They're not
You know the one I'm talking about.
The it's narwhal nautilus.
I think it's Narval or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was called a narwhal. We're all Google
Tyranid ships. Narvals? Is it actually a narval?
Yeah, that's what I
it's
thought.
legit called
That's
a
what I
narwhal.
said, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys both said it.
Yeah.
So a narval basically has these tendrils which it reaches out into. So the way that Tyranid ships work is they don't have warp drives.
No.
They actually
legit, it's
use
sick.
gravity tethers to pull their ships towards objects. We'll get a lot. It's a lot deeper than that. But the idea that the hive mind can basically just like
They manipulate like gravity in some kind of
Yeah,
way where they can
to
just
move
like
faster
launch
than light.
themselves.
I
through
always
space.
thought it was they essentially move themselves around like giant bacteria with like flagella.
Yeah. So this type of ship
Moving
basically sends
on.
these really long tendrils out, which grab the gravity, and then they can pull their ships at faster than light speeds towards things.
Like a ship that, when it doesn't have any wind, a sailboat didn't have any wind, they would toss the anchor on the rowboat, row forward, drop the anchor, and then they would crank the anchor up and it would move the ship.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
like
they use like gravity tethers essentially. We'll definitely get a lot.
Jello.
I think they can actually
deeper into
manipulate
it.
gravity.
They can manipulate gravity. So the idea that the hive mind might be like reaching out and kind of nudging these ships or even pulling these ships isn't out of the question.
Oh, they warp space-time. That's what the tentacles do.
Yep. Yeah,
Not
they're neat.
Space-time.
But it's using gravitational forces to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify here.
We'll totally dive deeper into them.
But it does say that it doesn't involve the warp specifically.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I kept saying faster than light. It's not warp
Is it
travel.
actually
It's faster than
I
light.
thought they were limited to
Nope.
No, they do not possess faster than light travel.
Yeah, that's why
Oh.
the tendrils are so slow.
That's why
The
the hive
splinter
fleets
fleets.
are Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I
that's
thought they
basically-
traveled faster than light. Anyway.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere.
Yeah, they're fucking everywhere. So Space Hulks are usually the environment of Space Hulks. Space Hulks are usually homes to gene stealers, cultists, renegades, orcs, and even entire chapters of Chaos Space Marines. Hand in hand with this danger comes extremely valuable materials, however, like STCs, lost relics, and plenty of other gubbins possibly worth taking on the murder of a throbbing set of demonettes.
That's what you call a group of demonettes, right? A murder.
Throbbing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were called the throbbing.
I like that more.
I approve.
I approve.
So the amount of manufactured plast, steel, and Xenos material alone is worth some of the dangers just to get a peek at what could be some sort of technology. However, they have a tendency to be just dead or harmless scrap. It's even been said that the economies of entire star systems have been brought back from the brink of collapse because a Space Hulk had fallen into the lap of the system governor. Unfortunately, this comes at a price, considering it is very rare that these monstrous constructs are home to your friendly neighborhood stealer of genes or the like. So it's not just Levi thieves.
No, it's dead.
And thieves.
More
And
denim
thieves.
jeans.
Sometimes they're selling jeans too. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, they give you jeans.
No,
too.
they steal them and then they sell them back to you.
Corduroys.
Corduroys. But it is really important to note gene stealers and Space Hulks are linked together a lot in lore because the board game Space Hulk specifically features Blood Angel Terminators and gene stealers. However, orcs often infest Space Hulks and use them to travel through the warp. There's more than one case of an entire chapter of Chaos Space Marines using them. Pirates and raiders, renegades, anything that falls in between 100% following the various large empires and chaos powers will utilize them.
Were soul drinkers hanging out on a Space Hulk for a little while?
Yes.
Is that what I remember?
We're going to go through some infamous. The infamous El Guapo? Probably the largest actor to come out of Mexico. You guys never seen The Three Amigos? Did I tell another
I've seen
joke?
Three
I
Amigos.
don't know. I don't remember.
The infamous?
Dismember.
The infamous?
I mean, it's been a while, but I've seen it.
They have a
It's
whole
the
thing.
three white dudes, right?
Yeah. All right. So how does the Imperium treat Space Hulks? As vastly valuable collections of material and lost Golden Age technology, Space Hulks are like a shining beacon to the Imperium. Xenos forces like the Eldar, Orcs, Tau, as well as pirates and raiders or rogue traders.
I was actually right after you said the little comment about how his sector got super rich by the governor, just kind of like happening upon it. It kind of reminded me. I was watching a documentary a while back of like the first pirates in the Caribbean, and they got started because the Spanish treasure galleons sank.
Really?
Yeah.
And they just used all of that.
They started out as privateers, and then they basically were like, the privateering business ended because all the wars kind of calmed down for a couple years, and then everybody's like, all right, no more shooting at each other. We all need to make money off trade now. And then a bunch of Spanish vessels sank in a row off the coast of Florida. And then those guys were like, I'm gonna get my money.
The treasure of
because it was it's not considered
Stealing.
piracy
yeah,
if
salvage.
they're all dead when we get there.
It's a salvage, man.
And exactly. So it's a salvage op. And so it totally made me start thinking about like, I could see how a bunch of rogue traders could just start scrapping these things when they
100%,
show
dude.
up
Well,
and get rich.
a lot
100%.
of times these were golden age of technology ships.
And that's kind of like what the golden age of
Yeah.
technology.
Not only that, but
golden
there's
treasure
xenotech
galleons.
in there too, because it's not just Imperial
oh yeah,
ships.
all kinds of
there's
ships.
crazy
Yeah,
ass
Exactly.
Xeno
So they have
stuff.
access to xenotech that they can easily sell as a rogue
Exactly.
trader.
And the other interesting thing, to go off yours for a minute before I jump back into Space Hulk, the thing that always kind of gets me and like makes me smile about our idea of the age of piracy and the romanticized age of piracy that we have in Western culture, it's literally like a 60-year period of history.
Really?
It is
it's
incredibly short.
Well,
What we think of as pirates, like Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah,
that
that literally took
popularized.
place over less than 100 years.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
a very, very short time of the age of sail.
It was basically it took place at about the same time as the American Revolution.
Oh, okay.
And that was it.
And it was pretty much over when Ship of the Lines, like 288 gun ships started coming on. Like pirates were like, oh, never mind, we fucked.
Because
Can't fuck with that.
Yep.
piracy only works as long as you can outpace the government powers.
Well, to be
And you
clear,
don't stir up too much heat.
piracy has always been a problem worldwide.
Oh
The romanticized version
What
of
we think
pirates
of
that
as
we
pirates.
The
think,
Twilight version of pirates.
yes, is a very short
Because that was literally, like I said, so
pizza
they
of
were all
history.
privateers.
Right.
Which, if you don't know what a privateer is a pirate, except they have a piece of paper that says it's okay.
They're a rogue trader.
It's exactly what
Very
rogue traders.
legitimately.
Rogue trader. So
They have a
rogue
mark
trader
of
and
writ.
privateer are exactly the same thing, essentially. So in ancient history, well, not ancient history, but in human world history, when powers, it's essentially like mercenaries. Like
Right.
it's expensive to have a navy. But you know it's not expensive for the American government at the time where they didn't have any ships, telling a bunch of these guys that do own ships that if they sink British ships, it's totally cool.
Yeah, giving somebody in France a writ as a privateer and saying, merchant A, if you take out as many British merchants as you can
keep all the
you
loot,
can keep all the loot,
and we won't hang you for it.
and we will give you clemency in our country.
It's like Minutemen almost.
Well, Minutemen were just like militia, but this concept was essentially
No loot.
Well, yeah, there was no loot. The whole concept was because back in the day, piracy would get you hung.
Right.
So if you
It'll still
were
get you
known
hung.
as a pirate and you sailed into the wrong port, no questions asked, strung up by a rope,
Right.
like done. As you saw in Pirates of the Caribbean, they were pretty nasty when they found out people were pirates. But if he had a letter
like
of
when
marque,
the two pirates go, bloody pirate, the other group of pirates,
Yeah.
are just like, are you fucking kidding me?
so what would happen is to make sure that you didn't get, hung, you would get a letter of marque from whatever country.
Right. So
Well-
it's like you were saying, just like rogue traders.
But what happens when you get a letter of marque from like 2 or 3 countries?
Oh, you just,
that didn't happen that often.
That
but
didn't
yeah.
happen, but the theory around it
Right.
is then you could essentially sink anybody's boat.
Yeah.
right.
And as long as you didn't immediately go to that person's port afterwards,
You'd probably be all right.
you're
But they-
basically cool.
But they often didn't sink boats. They preferred to take them.
They prefer to take them. What most of the pirates did is they would start with a small boat, and then they'd go attack a slightly larger boat than that.
It's the FPS like progression. You start with a crowbar, you end with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, essentially. And actually there were quite
gun
famous. Yeah, it's gun game.
Yep.
Exactly, it's gun game. So they would use a little boat to take a slightly larger boat. Now I've got 2 boats. So now I can use those 2 boats to then pin another boat. Oh, I've got like 3 boats now. Now I can have
A really
cruise.
fancy feather.
You can have an arm. Yeah, you can have a fancy hat at that point. And then
Commodore.
yes, you become Commodore. But
We'll get you a really big feather.
but to transition this back to 40k, in the original beginnings of the history of kind of the Imperium, the Emperor knew that You know,
They needed
the central government couldn't manage the frontiers. You know, micromanage.
Yeah, they knew.
So he essentially made the East India Trade Company concept where, okay, all these basically merchant houses will get a letter of marque allowing them permission to conduct business outside of imperial borders.
He also knew
Xenotech, and
he also knew what the potential of human history was, because he kind of knew what was happening in other places. He kind of understood what the Eldar were going through. He kind of understood a bunch of stuff. So as much as he was trying to insulate humans from these concepts of like the warp and Xenos technology, he also knew that in order to continue moving forward, we needed
to have that buffer zone.
We needed to continue trading with Xenos species,
right? Because
so rogue traders are that buffer. They're that DMZ. If you want to look at it like a network, you want to look at it like a networking.
Yeah. Which is why rogue traders are often at odds with the Inquisition, because the Inquisition didn't really exist when rogue traders were a thing, and were originally a thing. So rogue traders have the little piece of paper that says, no, I can play with whatever I want. It's totally legal. And the Inquisition's like, I don't know, man. Sounds like heresy, but that paper is signed by the Emperor.
And at the same time, a lot of times what ends up happening, the reason that this conflict between the rogue traders and the Inquisition exists is because technically the rogue traders can order the Inquisition around, but technically the Inquisition can order the rogue traders around. They hold the same amount of power, and they're constantly playing like 4D chess to outsmart one another.
It's kind of like Death Watch and the Inquisition. Like no one has power over the other. They both kind of do their own thing.
I could say it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Let's talk about Death Watch and the idea of how the Astartes deal with this stuff. In an effort to capture the resources of such a prize, an Astartes chapter will dispatch Terminator teams into space hulks to cleanse an area. Terminators are elite and incredibly experienced veterans, often of First Company, who are equipped with the heaviest weapons and armor an Astartes chapter has. Tactical Terminator armor.
Tactical
dreadnought armor.
Yeah.
Is it? That's right.
Tactical
I thought it was
Terminator is tactical dreadnought.
Tactical dreadnought armor. Thank you. After an area is cleared and safe, Adeptus Mechanicus or Imperial Navy forces may be moved in to secure and haul out valuable technology, or the Terminators themselves will use teleport technology to secure goods off the Hulk itself. Most notably, as they are featured in the games, both video and board, are the Blood Angels Tactical Terminators and the Dark Angels Terminators. Dark Angels are Deathwing, by the way. Blood Angels are the stereotypical. Dark Angels are Deathwing.
Dark Angels Terminators in the Deathwing? I thought Deathwing was like a specific, it was like their version of First Company kind of thing.
I am specifying this in most Astartes chapters, including Heretic chapters. All Terminators are pulled from First and Second Company.
Right.
So when you break down a chapter, First and Fifth.
Oh,
it's not First and Second.
I don't have companies.
Yes, because Second Company is something specific.
Second Company is something specific. Is almost always
like
Terminators.
your most
I don't follow that shit.
So
I was about to say,
I'm Death Watch.
You're like.
So the reason
5-man squad.
The reason I brought up Blood Angels Terminators and Dark Angels Terminators is because in the board game it is Blood Angel Terminators versus Gene Stealers, and in the video game it is Dark Angel Deathwing Terminators versus Gene Stealers. In theory, however,
I think it's
the way that Astartes deal with
Tyranids, Gene Stealers, and Cultists.
Right, but again, I was just talking about the Terminator forces involved.
Yeah, I know. You were just saying it was Dark Angels against Gene Stealers. It's more than just Gene Stealers.
It's more than that in the video game.
Yeah, because you fight like Hive Tyrants and shit.
There's a bunch of stuff in the video game,
and that's because the Hive,
the one-off bio, or the one-off bio forms. However, Astartes chapters deal with Space Hulks by sending in Terminators first. They cleanse an area. And then when the area is cleansed, other forces will come in to take stuff off.
So they establish a fob.
Basically.
So beachhead.
The reason that Terminators are sent in is not to clear the entire Space Hulk. It's to secure an area so they can do what they need to do and then leave.
In the one area. Yeah. Because the Space Hulk is too big.
Yeah.
Too big,
most
too
of them
complicated.
Are too big.
It would be like landing in New York City.
They're like, claim the city with
like 10 guys.
Yeah. You're a rat.
City.
You're a rat. You're 5 rats in tactical dreadnought armor, rat-sized tactical dreadnought armor, and you're landed in New York to take 4 gold bricks out of the reserve.
Gold coins.
Yeah,
out of
five
something.
gold coins out of the reserve building in the middle of downtown. Good luck.
And all the other
Don't
rats in
get
the city
stepped
are
on
trying
by
to eat you.
dude.
humans.
Like Deathwing, you don't feel like you have enough ammo.
Oh yeah.
No, you
Like,
should
just
Well, that's what made the game feel right.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
What's funny is you have unlimited ammo.
Yeah,
and it
but
still feels like you don't have
Yeah.
enough ammo.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
oddly enough, Death Watch is also sent in to deal.
Yeah. So like the game Kill Team, you play as a kill team. I believe, I don't know if you're in a Space Hulk. You might be because you
It's
fight
a derelict
orcs.
of some kind.
Yeah, it's probably like a rock or something. But essentially, I mean, it could be a Space Hulk. It's the same idea.
Death Watch will be sent at Space Hulks to get one specific piece of alien tech and just get it off. Or the Grey Knights might be sent to secure some demonic weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So massive bombardments will be used to either whittle a Space Hulk down or attempt to nudge and push it in another direction if they drift too close to important trade routes or highly trafficked parts of the Imperial systems. Most of the time, though, they are too large to destroy without being 100% targeted by just massive amounts of firepower. In fact, some is not the right way. Most are able to survive multiple impacts by Nova cannons.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're fucking huge.
And it's something to be said about 40k space combat is it's very much ships slug it out with each other, but ships don't explode. Like 40k ships are not known for exploding.
They don't
during fleet
often
actions.
explode.
They will if
Yeah.
a reactor goes critical with a lucky hit, or if an intentional reactor overload is triggered by the captain and
Right.
crew.
Right.
But it has been said in many times I've read through lore, it's like the ships will shoot at each other and then one will go spiraling away venting plasma.
Yep.
But that's it. Like that's the end of the fight. It's not like Star Wars where the ships shoot at each other until one of them is just a fireball.
Yeah.
It's so when you scale that up to, oh, this is like 25 ships smashed into one big ship, there's no way that you're going to actually destroy that
Right.
without any, just going way beyond up and over the top. And to destroy something like a Space Hulk, that's not really worth it.
Yeah.
It's way better in
They'll try if it drifts too close to an Imperial system.
right.
If it's threatening trade routes, if
Right,
it's
definitely.
full of orcs and threatening trade routes.
in Deathwing, they actually have a very good answer. Well, let's just get inside one of them and
Turn its engines on.
turn its engines on and steer it into the sun.
Yeah.
That's literally their answer. Is we're just going to use the one ship that's kind of pointing in the right direction. We're going to get in there. We're going to turn on its motors and just blast it into the sun.
Well, and the way that Newtonian physics works, if you're standing on an object in space and you throw a baseball, as a very simple explanation, the object you're standing on and the baseball are going to travel away from each other at the same constant speed. So if you hit a Space Hulk with something large enough to stop its drift, you can nudge it in a different direction.
Right.
And that's oftentimes the Imperium's desire. They're like, we're going to hit it with enough kinetic force to make it go
play pool
away
with it.
from us. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, you play.
We don't
pool
really
with it.
care what else happens.
I mean,
with
sometimes it's not an option though, just because of the sheer fucking
size of it,
Size of it, yeah.
And sometimes they can't stop it, so they just bring an entire battle fleet and they fucking chunk at it until it's small enough. We asked our amazing Discord community if they had any questions about Space Hulks, and we got a couple of questions that all kind of drop into infamous examples of Space Hulks. So we're just going to do an infamous read down here of some of the Space Hulks that we could find listed. So the Alveus Alpha Sextus was a Space Hulk that first bore the orcs to the hive world of Armageddon during the Second War of Armageddon. These were orcs that had found this specific Space Hulk, infested the crap out of it, and then pointed it at Armageddon so they could start a war. The Broken Back was a Space Hulk that housed the Renegade Soul Drinkers chapter for a time. You mentioned Soul Drinkers earlier.
Very interesting name.
The
Broken Back?
Yeah, it's just an interesting name.
But I really, really like the Soul Drinkers. I haven't said that in a while, but I really enjoyed their books.
I don't think you've ever said that. But I don't think you've ever said that on the podcast, but
Oh no,
that's cool.
you remember when I fucked up word bearers?
Yeah,
And
okay,
I was
okay.
like, have you even read the book? That's who I was confusing it with. Was the soul
was
drinkers.
that like when I couldn't remember what the Iron Warriors
Yeah.
were and I kept calling them the Iron Fists?
Yeah. But
One
the Soul Drinkers
of
had
our
a really-
podcast specific chapters.
a really good. I really enjoyed their story, and I'm glad that they ended up on a Space Hulk for a time. I thought that was a pretty cool way for them to end up for a while, and then a really tragic ending, but also really epic.
Yep. So the Cauldron Born is a former Space Hulk and current fortress ship and home of the renegade Blood Gorgons chapter of Chaos Space Marines. The Cauldron Born is an artifact of the Blood Gorgons' biological experimentation, including the use of pseudosurgery and demonology. It is said that the hull of the floating fortress has been grafted with the flesh of demon princes, and that the organic matter has been cultivated to merge with the ship's engines, spawning a demonic spirit that inhabits the vessel's circuitry. So I don't know if you guys know, but actually you may know. My home computer, my home rig is named the Hellforge. All of my computers are named after famous ships from sci-fi settings, and the Hellforge is actually a demon ship from Warhammer 40k.
I'm surprised you didn't name it after Abaddon's flagship or something.
The Vengeful Fist.
Vengeful Spirit.
Vengeful Spirit, yeah. I like Hellforge better. I like Hellforge better because Hellforge is a living entity with people
cool.
with people inside it.
I'm almost surprised you didn't name it Cobbin.
There you go.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Our media computer is named the Heart of Gold from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
So the Iron Worm was an orc crewed space Hulk that ravaged the Ulysses sector in the middle of the 32nd millennium. Historical records show that the Iron Worm is responsible for the destruction of Battle Group Azazel, the sacking of the Forge World of Temenexa, and the ravaging of the Fortune Worlds of Armstrong and Velgagard. Velgagard. That's a lot of gagas, guys.
Hold on, let me see if I can
It's
pronounce.
Velgagrad. Velvagrad?
Volgograd, maybe?
Yeah, you're better because you put the accents
I
on it.
inflection the syllables.
Nice.
Samsonite. I was way off.
The Iron Worm was a severe menace for the entire Ulcerif cluster before its course was altered by the eruption of a powerful warp storm, which transported the Space Hulk deep into the dark marches region of Segmentum Tempestus, amongst the worlds that used to form the Opheria sector, never to be seen again. It is generally believed that the Iron Worm was obliterated when they somehow disturbed the slumber of a powerful Necron dynasty. Da Colossus is another orc-crewed Space Hulk that was used by Captain Crash Cruise as a base of operations for pirate activity in the Gothic sector at the time of the Gothic Wars.
That actually is something when you mentioned Necrons a second ago. I wonder what a Necron ship being smashed into a Space Hulk would end up doing.
Oh my God, that's
Can
amazing.
you imagine like
Blowing up.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I am putting a pin. That is a thank you, Kevin.
that, dude? You could make.
I
some
just had
dope
such
terrain.
a great ass fucking lore idea based on that.
That'd be spooky too.
Oh, dude! it'd be
Oh,
super
imagine like an
spooky,
Egyptian pyramid from hell,
right?
like booby traps up the wazoo.
Oh, you know what we didn't bring up in movies? The Hellraiser movies. So that-
Yeah, I know.
Did you bring up Hellraiser?
Mark said it, and I was like, Hellraiser, hell yeah.
I mean, I didn't
We
see
just
much
didn't-
on it, but
We
yeah.
just didn't get deep into it.
No.
And that was a while ago. That was many episodes back.
No, that was like the beginning of this episode.
Really?
Yeah, we talked about movies,
man.
movies that had Space Hulk vibes.
I didn't remember Hellraiser coming up in that.
I mean, I just like briefly mentioned.
Oh,
it.
okay. I dismember all kinds of
It
shit.
was in reference to Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Ah,
But again, Hellraiser has a lot. If you want another fucking, what is it like? Hellraiser fight. One of them takes place in space.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
At the behest to get back onto the Colossus, at the behest of Lord Admiral Ravensburg, Battlefleet Gothic under the command of Admiral Spire and Captain
Spire's
Abradol
badass. Just gotta say it.
confronted the Xenos menace and managed to severely damage the edifice of the Orcish ingenuity. When faced with defeat, crash crews attempted to take revenge on the Imperials assaulting him, he detonated a cyclonic torpedo, possibly a relic dating back to the days of the Great Crusade, utterly annihilating his own Space Hulk and ending the Orc threat to the Gothic sector.
I was about to say, aren't cyclonic torpedoes like almost Dark Age of Technology like level weapons?
Yeah, they're very, very old.
Don't they aren't they basically singularity bombs?
Yes, I believe so. When we cover the Great Crusade and the crazy fucking weapons of the Imperium,
dude,
here in
some
the future,
of the
we'll talk
weapons
about this stuff.
that they had like in the beginning of the
Dude,
Horus
fucking
Heresy.
virus bombs.
Virus bombs are
I got
insane
one.
on their own, but cyclonic torpedoes, I remember like reading this little like brief like little clip out of one of the Horus Heresy books, and it was like they fired a volley of cyclonic torpedoes at this fortification, and it basically just erased it from existence.
Yep. Yeah, they're crazy.
And then the same fortification then started firing basically the same kind of weapons back at the humans. And it was just eating Space Marines. Just
You said you have a Space Hulk you want to bring up?
No. I had a weapon I wanted to bring up, but I'm going to save it for the weapon episode.
It's coming, guys. The Death of Integrity. In 887.m39, the Death of Integrity was seen near the world of Vol Secundus. A call of immediate Adeptus Astartes assistance was issued, and the first companies of both the Blood Drinkers and the Nova Marines responded. Exhibiting a tremendous amount of cooperation, the two chapters deployed nearly 200 Terminators aboard the derelict Space Hulk. Over the span of 2 months, the task force thoroughly purged the entire Space Hulk of the rampant Gene Stealer infestation. Though the battle was costly in terms of material damage and loss of life, the ultimate prize was stunning. Deep within the Space Hulk's ruins was a remarkably well-preserved standard template construct, STC, database, which contained data on a host of lost technologies. The Adeptus Mechanicus gladly accepted this priceless artifact and repaired both chapters with newly commissioned strike cruisers. And repaid both chapters with newly commissioned strike cruisers. The Devourer of Stars was used by the demon prince Angron and his World Eaters Traitor Legion during the First War of Armageddon to invade the world. Man, when we get to our Armageddon episode, a lot of weird shit. Everything happens to Armageddon.
Armageddon is like Cadia's other brother.
Yep.
This is cooler, brother, because it's orcs and not demons.
The Fury is a Space Hulk
I'm
that's...
surprised orcs never showed up on Cadia. I just figured at some point they would have, but I guess...
Probably too close to home.
Yeah.
The Fury was a Space Hulk that started out as a particularly ambitious project of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adepts of Mars planned to transform a small planet into a spacefaring vessel by using the planet's old molten core as an energy source. Plucking the planet from the Eye of Terror, the Adeptus Mechanicus outfitted it with a Geller field, engines, and a warp drive. However, the planet became lost in the warp and over the millennia transformed into a Space Hulk. Its original Mechanicus crew still eked out a pitiful existence in the core, until towards the end of the 37th millennia, the Fury drew the attention of the Space Marines and the Vidaran consuls. Viridin consuls. Sounds like
That sounds right.
Okay.
I accept it.
Then part of the fateful Abyssal Crusade, setting on the Fury, the consuls were corrupted by the touch of chaos and became a warband of heretic Astartes known as the Broken, which claimed the Fury as their home. The renegade Astartes continuously battled the Mechanicus adepts left on the Hulk, but were never powerful enough to fully vanquish them. In the late 41st millennium, the Fury emerged from the warp on the borders of the realm of Ultramar, near the world of Ix, where it was boarded by Ultramarines and their allies in the Mechanicus Inquisition, who ultimately purged the Fury of its chaos taint. Reluctantly restored to its original owners in the Mechanicus, the fate of the Fury currently is a mystery. Both the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Ordos Hereticus have blocked any inquiries into the Space Hulk's ultimate fate. The Forsaken Doom was a Gene Stealer-infested Space Hulk that threatened the nearby Forge world of Gorgonum. Gorgonum's ruler, Fabricator General Wendler Lyzeric, requested aid from the Ordo Xenos Inquisitor Jost von Marburg. Marburg, in turn, secured the assistance of a complement of First Company Ventured Terminators from the Blood Angels chapter under the command of Captain Ubaldo.
Why can't people have just like names like fucking Joe?
Ubaldo's Terminators, operating from the Blood Angels fleet vessel Blood Crusade proceeded to clear the Hulk of its Genestealer population. I believe the Forsaken Doom is
good job, Ballsack. Whatever your name was.
That's one of the board games, isn't it?
What was?
Isn't that one? No, that's the Sin of Damnation. What's the Space Hulk in the board game? Sin of Damnation.
You got me. There's all kinds of made up shit. You think I'm gonna know the name of a Space Hulk from a board game?
Spawn of Damnation. That's the one in the board game. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. that was my rant.
You're like, anyone who knows it is blah blah blah. It is Sin of Damnation. All right, fuck it. Mortis Thul, known by many names, Death from Beyond the Horizon is the largest Space Hulk known to exist within Jericho Reach and was very possibly the most dangerous. Though each Hulk is unique, Mortis Thul stands out not only for its enormous size, but also for its long history inside the Reach, dating back to before the arrival of the Imperial Expeditionary Fleet of the Great Crusade. Most Hulks either fall apart given enough time, or disappear back into the warp, never to be seen again. The Mortis Thul seems older than many such Space Hulks encountered before. Its curious longevity and increasing mass are possibly tied to the other mysterious artifacts in the Jericho Reach, such as the Warp Gate. So the Sin of Damnation was the Space Hulk assaulted by the Blood Angel Space Marines in 996.M40. This campaign ultimately proved disastrous, with the Blood Angels facing an unending tide of Genestealers and finally retreating with only 50 brothers surviving of their entire chapter. The Blood Angels made a second attempt to claim the Hulk when it was rediscovered in 598.M41 under the command of 1st Company Captain Michaelius Raphael. 80 Blood Angels Terminators slaughtered over 40,000 Genestealers and captured the Hulk. So the Sin of Damnation is in the board game, and the Spawn of Damnation, I believe, is in the video game. The Spawn of Damnation is an amalgamation of wrecked starships approximately 5 kilometers in diameter. And it was first encountered in 447.M36 in the Spinward Drift. Later, in 781.M41, it briefly appeared in the Vidarian system, long enough for the Genestealers aboard to seed their taint into the system's human population.
Yeah,
Genestealer cults. In 928.M41, the Genestealer cult led an uprising against the Imperial governor, which was quelled by a detachment of the Reclaimers and the Imperial Guard liaison officer, Commissar Caiaphas Cain.
Caiaphas Cain.
That's the one who like lucks his way into everything, right?
Yeah.
Boo.
I'm an Imperial Guard fanboy, but he's probably my least favorite.
Really?
I don't know. Like, I should go back and read all of his books like in a row.
He is very memey.
But he, he's a little. I don't know. I'm just not super fan of his attitude. I'm more in line with Gaunt.
Yeah. I feel it.
So with the additional Imperial Guard regiments arriving to exist in the cleansing and seeking a more interesting fight, the Reclaimers chose to track the Spawn of Damnation down and secure it for the Imperium, finally locating it later in the Serendipita system. Over the local government's objections, the Reclaimers and Cain boarded the Hulk to recover archo-tech, but came under heavy Genestealer attack, with many Terminators slain and Cain and his aide, Ferric Jurgen, becoming separated from the group. After traveling through the Hulk for several solar hours, Cain discovered that there were also orcs aboard and provoked them into attacking the Genestealers, which ultimately allowed the Reclaimers to capture the Hulk. The chapter and the Adaptus Mechanicus spent the next 30 years mining it for archaeo technology and finally landed a volunteer expeditionary force aboard it and returned it to the warp in 958.M41. The Reclaimers tried to resume tracking it, but it is currently listed as lost.
Those are always the most dangerous kind of orcs, is the ones the surprise mushroom.
Surprise mushrooms. But yeah, one of the direct questions we had is there any lore of orcs being on Space Hulks? There is. There's quite a few. There is a lot more dedicated to Genestealers and Genestealer cults just because they have been featured in the games. But as we get into the Wars for Armageddon, we will probably talk about the 2 or 3 rocks and Space Hulks that the orcs used. Orcs also often use or capture Space Hulks and turn them into rocks.
Yeah, they just retrofit whatever they can get their hands
rock
on.
is essentially their name for
Rock.
big space thing.
Big meteor.
Yeah,
Hulk thing.
because I mean, what's the difference between a meteor that's been hollowed out
Asteroid, I
and
guess.
bolted a bunch of crap to it
And a Space Hulk.
and a space Hulk?
Not
It's
much.
essentially the same thing. The
Yeah.
only thing is one was built and one's an accident.
Yeah.
Or should I just say mostly they're both accidents?
So as we draw to a close a little bit later with our third episode on the Eldari, we are actually going to take a second to jump back and do some orc history episodes, and then we will dive into Astra Militarum. So we will get a little bit deeper into orcs' relationships with Space Hulks, specifically in those 2 history episodes. So look forward to that.
The War of the Beast sees a lot of Space Hulk action.
But to finish up on Space Hulks, the reason that Space Hulks are so synonymous with the game is because of the standalone games. So the Rogue Trada era game was released in 1989, a few years after Aliens, the movie, was released, and a couple of years before second edition 40k. It has been remade several times, with the most recent edition being very, very nice. It's got amazing fucking sculpts for the Blood Angels Terminators. The board pieces are amazing. The rules are very nice. It's fun.
Yeah, I used all those Terminators for Death Watch, and I'm using all the Gene Stealers for my Gene Stealer cult, so it worked out.
You played the game though, right?
Yeah, I played with my brother because my brother
pretty
plays
fun.
Blood Angels.
Cool.
Do you guys have any experience with the Blood Angels board game?
I haven't played the board game. I did play one of the PC adaptations.
I was gonna
of the
say,
board
did you
game.
play one of the OG ones? Because it's just like the board game. If you
Yeah,
have,
there's
the
a-
tactics
yeah.
version essentially.
Yeah, and it shows you the dice rolls
Yep.
and everything.
Yeah, it's essentially
All I
the same
remember
thing.
from that was,
Gene Stealers, fuck, right?
oh, dude, it was ridiculous. I had a Terminator with like an assault gun, like overwatching a hallway. Gene Stealer literally ran straight
mean
down
shit.
the hallway
Don't mean
and
shit.
killed the Terminator.
Yep, don't mean shit.
Literally charged the Terminator with an assault cannon down
Yep.
like a single lane fucking hallway.
You ain't nothing but a trick and a hoe, Terminator.
Tanked some of the shots. A bunch of the shots whiffed,
Yep.
and then it came over and just like one hit my Terminator.
Yeah. You know, catch
was
this
like-
disrespectful rending club, bro.
Oh, dude, it was a disrespectful claw.
Skibbity pat.
And then I sent in the boss man with the beat stick, and the Gene Stealer was like, block, counter strike.
he's like,
and then the beat stick man died too.
You know what we call
me tell you
those in
something.
the industry?
What?
As a Tyranid player, you know what we
don't
call
you
those in the
disrespect me.
industry?
Did you have
Tuna
to
can?
speak with
Can
my friend?
openers.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous that like
Oh yeah, they fuck, dude.
When you go into a Tyranid's pantry, so to speak, there are a lot of tools at your disposal. None is more universal than the fucking can opener. That is the Gene Stealer. Popping tops.
It's got that rending toe, baby.
Just rip open that Terminator and drink down a cold boy or a warm boy. However it works.
it's always kind of blown my mind that Gene Stealers, like, I get it, like there can be sharp claws.
Yeah.
Things can be sharp. But like
Things can
Terminator
be
armor is supposed to be really durable.
I mean, it's just a very, very thick ceramite armor with the invulnerable save is just the Crux Terminatus.
Yeah.
So it's
You
not
know-
like it's like
But like
You know the description that you come across over and over and over and over and over again in every single codex, no matter what army it is?
What?
Monomolecular.
monomolecular.
Their claws are as sharp as monomolecular. The chainsaw teeth on the chainsword is as sharp as monomolecular.
But
When everything is monomolecular
They got
sharpness,
the-
it don't matter what your
They got the
armor is.
Well, but here's the thing
monomolecular.
is
molecular.
ceramite was designed that when it gets cut to break into powder and fill in whatever blade is cutting it
Mm-hmm.
and dull it.
Monomolecular.
Which means but that means that the gaps between those monomoleculars would then fill up and the blade would become less sharp as it cuts.
Yeah, but you can't balance the game or make the story
Oh, I know,
believable
I know.
if everything.
You can't
is
always be better,
impervious to
Kevin.
damage.
Sometimes you just gotta accept
Terminator
fate.
should be better though.
Not
Ter-
against my
literally their point.
monomolecular claws.
Terminators are pretty cool.
like that.
Terminators are pretty cool. I will say tactical dreadnought armor is pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
However,
Normal
A
Space
lot,
Marines.
I don't know if you
I
guys
could
know this, but
accept it.
lots of hate.
downside.
A lot of hate to Terminators nowadays. I don't know if you guys know this.
I've noticed because being a Black Legion guy, I want a lot of first company Terminators because Abaddon
Dude,
was a first company Terminator.
Box dreadnoughts and Terminators are what got me into 40k. Like those were like
They're
my
cool
two
as shit,
favorite
man.
things.
Dude, nothing looks cooler. I don't care who you are. Nothing looks cooler than the fucking horned helmets on the fucking Chaos Terminators.
Yeah, those guys are
The
pretty dope.
bully
The tusks.
mammoths.
Yeah, they're so
the tusks.
badass.
Those things are pretty cool.
To jump into the PC side over the years, there have been several ports to PC of the board game of varying levels of success. We just talked about a couple of them.
We also talked about them in our video game.
Yeah, we
episode.
talked about it in our video game
Yeah, we did.
episode. At
We
least
touched
one
on
of
all
them's
of
pretty
them.
good.
And
However, probably the best, at least the podcast favorite, is Space Hulk Deathwing, which
Yeah,
is the first
That
person
shit's pretty
shooter.
dope.
It's
now
pretty
that
cool.
It's been redone.
Yeah.
pretty
The
cool.
first iteration of it was rough around the edges.
Yep.
The new iteration of it is still a
pretty
little
dope.
rough around
It's
the
still
edges.
dope,
But
though.
it's still
But-
fun.
I think we need to Twitch stream that again.
We do
Yeah,
need to switch.
100%.
I was thinking
For sure.
that. But what they do nail is the environment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the environment
Whether or not
is
the
spot
gameplay
on.
itself is a little rough, the environment, the
Yeah.
feeling, the sound.
Every fight feels like it's a last stand.
Oh, yeah.
Like every
Oh,
fight,
yeah.
you're just like, "Ah!"
And then all of a sudden, some like big fucking Tyranid comes out of nowhere, and you're like, I thought we were fighting Gin Stealers.
yeah.
Why is there a Carnifex trying to fuck me right now?
Why is there a giant
got that-
squid? Why is there a giant squid mouth son of a bitch running at me?
Oh my
Why is
god!
those-
Yeah,
why
we
is
got.
monomolecular claws in my
Carnifex.
Oh
That
my
was
god,
nuts.
that was fucking rough.
It was super rough.
Yeah, so it's a Left 4 Dead style multi-party or a 4-person shooter. Very
Co-op
very
shooter.
fun. It captures
Don't
the look a lot.
Ring the giant bell.
Oh man,
What?
I love that they added
Remember
that
that?
in
The dinner
game.
bell.
When we
Dinner
walked
bell.
into that room and there was that big bell and I had the miniguns, so I was like, "Brrrring," and then I turned around, I was like, there's a million of them.
So there's you haven't played it, or I don't think you've played it, but in Vermintide, the very first mission, you have to go up and ring
destroy a
the giant bell.
Is it's ring a bell so hard that it like breaks.
that like
itself.
breaks off and falls down, but
Yeah.
it calls all of the Skaven, and you're just at the top of this building, like mindlessly fighting for your life because you rang the bell.
Well, you ring the bell and then it like falls through, and you got to like follow it as it like crashes down through this tower.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
pretty cool. We need to play
dope.
Vermintide.
Vermintide's
That is
awesome.
one
Yeah.
that we need to play. That'll be prep for Darktide. They
Definitely.
play very similar.
Darktide coming soon.
when that comes out.
Can't wait, baby.
So yeah, that was our episode on Space Hulks. I think we definitely have some desire to explore lore in Space Hulks. Kevin, you brought up a cool idea with the idea of a Necron Space Hulk. I really like that. I think I want to.
that was something.
wanna
that don't
dabble
think
with
had
that a little
been, I don't think I had
Pretty cool.
ever heard that before.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't. Necron ships would make sense to get pulled into the warp. The Necron may not use the warp, but their ships can still be pulled into it. So
Right.
I like
Could
the
you
idea.
imagine like one of their ships is just
Oh, I have ideas.
it goes to sleep and it just like when it powers back on, it's like
I have ideas.
somebody remodeled when we were sleeping.
I have ideas.
You
Let
had,
me
dude.
tell
We
you,
could
I
make
have ideas.
some cool terrain.
Do you have ideas, Ryan?
No. Fresh out. I had them until a minute ago. I only had 4. I sold out, Tom. I sold out. Yeah, so definitely we will definitely keep looking at the idea of Space Hulks. I want to get deeper into them. There's not a lot of Space Hulk info in the codexes and kind of out there, but every
It's
once in
kinda
a
just
while
generic.
we do come across a cool little bit. We are definitely looking at, as we are a creative writing podcast, we're definitely looking at the idea of how we can maybe we should have an episode. Fuck it, let's do an episode where we brainstorm making our own Space Hulk. That'd be dope. Maybe after we do our next creative
like
writing
a whole
episode.
a whole ass episode.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So one of the things that our community likes
Valid.
to ask us is where we are with our hobby. So does anybody have some hobby updates? I know you've got some hobby updates. You're going to pretend like you haven't, but I've seen the stuff you've painted. So let's,
I don't remember.
you painted Beast Snaggers. You've done with the box.
Yeah. I finished my beast snaggers. I think I mentioned that in the last one though.
And didn't you put Gorka on a swig?
Let me tell you something. Don't you ever disrespect Gorka. I'm just
Dorka? Didn't you Dorka the Dorka?
Yeah. So Ryan 3D printed somebody 3D printed a big squig for me. So I put Warboss Gorka on it, and she is now my beast boss on Squigosaur.
Looks dope. You should post up some pictures, man.
Yeah, I would if my camera worked on my phone.
We'll get some pictures of it.
Yeah.
Some pictures of it.
But yeah,
Tom, where are you at with your hobby?
Mm,
I got beat off yesterday.
mm. Basically, been playing video games mainly. I just ordered a new set of airplanes for the airplane game.
Nice. Very nice.
And torpedoes.
And torpedoes.
See, I don't need to buy airplanes. You just buy them for me.
I
and it's
fucking
fine.
hate you so much.
Some disrespectful bullshit you just threw at Tom right there.
basically, I bought some Bristol bow fighters and some torpedo markers. And
Very cool. Very cool.
realistically, I really want to get back into building and painting knights, but I just haven't had the money or the time.
Yeah.
Like, because I really want to get a Valiant, and I want to get 2 of the Helverin or the Warglaves.
Not to date us, but I heard that they might be releasing a new Chaos Knight.
Chaos Knight?
Yeah, there's new
Oh.
Chaos Knight on the horizon.
Yeah,
Mm.
from like the leaks or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I have all like a whole thing ready to go for Chaos Knights. I mean, I have one that I'm still working on. It's built. It just needs finishing. The other one is built. It needs finishing. But like ultimately, I really don't even want to do the Chaos Knights. I just want to build my normal knights more.
Yeah,
you know, I'm in
Well,
that.
I mean, your knights are your knights.
Yeah,
These
like-
are more like, oh hey, this would be cool.
Like I'm in that mode of like I want to build my army bigger.
Yeah.
Like I have a 2,000 point army. I have a little bit more than 2,000 points. I want to make an apocalypse army. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
I
I mean,
want to
that's
build
always
like I want to get like 6 more knights.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
I mean, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
man.
thing about me too. Is like usually I skip from one hobby to another. So like I'll probably I'll be painting and playing 40k, and then I'll be like, all right, time to take a break, time to play some video games, kind of thing.
yeah, no, me.
Yeah, you
me,
need hobby downtime.
me and Kevin are waiting for you to get on the video
I'm
game train again.
sorry.
I'm rolling off the back at Tom's nights. The last paint stream we did, I did one of my nights, the first armiger that I
Yes, right there in your armature.
and I actually really enjoyed it, and so I'm looking forward to painting the next one.
Nice.
You also did all of your Torox primes too. You
That was
haven't
a little while
mentioned.
back.
Yeah, but you haven't mentioned it though, like in the latest hobby
Really?
dealio.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Yeah, those are all the little green trucks I've been using on stream lately. Those
Yep.
I painted up those. Those were actually really fun to paint. Those came out really well. And I'm actually really enjoying the dabbling on the Scion side of the Imperial Guard.
Very cool.
At first, I was like, I felt dirty doing it, betraying my trash,
piece of work, man.
my trash infantry.
You
Right.
real piece of work.
No,
Yeah, it's
they
fucking
do real
Scion.
piece of work on all kinds of bullshit. Oh, it's amazing. It's such a difference what BS3 compared to BS4 does.
It's such a difference when you're like, aren't Terminators supposed to be indestructible? And you're like, nah, dog, Scions.
Nah, dog, monomolecular claws, bro.
No, that's just a fistful of Melta hitting on
Oh my
threes,
God, dude, that
AP6 or some bullshit.
That
like-
shit is ouchy, is what that is.
Well, that and then all the rest of their guns can rapid fire, and it just ends up.
Feel
with just
every
a
piece of this
bucket.
melted dog.
Feel every piece.
So,
Because,
let me tell you
yeah,
something that
you
you
popped the
haven't just
Moloch out, and I was just like, no, whack-a-mole, blah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Moloch got fucked.
That was really satisfying because, as you guys know,
That
the
was
Moloch
really
is
not.
the reason Billy lost.
That
his
was
legs.
really not satisfying.
And so that was like Billy's revenge right there. Oh, we've seen this before. Big nope.
Billy turn around, kill it, fucking kill it.
by the way, little tiny humans, here's Godzilla. Oh yeah, we figured out how to kill that before the movie started. What?
Quick movie.
Right?
So I have, speaking of Tyranids, I have rebuilt the paint scheme that I want to go forward with, and I have changed from the joking title of Hive Fleet Thirst Trap to actually They Who Thirst,
Eh,
trying to give it a little bit of a spin, a horror movie spin.
Hive Fleet Thirstodon.
No, man, They Who Thirst. It's like I like using
can
both
still
because
call
it's
it Hive
funny,
I know.
Thirst Trap.
but I wanted to give it a little bit more of a
Real name.
There was
Yeah.
a movie back in the day called They Hunger.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to do kind of like a callback of They Who Thirst.
Obviously, I don't want you to call your army like, oh yeah, High Fleet Dingleberry. I want you to have a cool name, but it's still funny to call it Dingleberry.
It's super
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
It's still super funny to call it Hive Fleet thirst trap. But yeah, so I'm
You're keeping
rebuilding.
the Mardi Gras Pete's though, right?
I am not. I am rebuilding.
How dare you?
I mean, I'm
The
keeping them.
disrespect.
I'm keeping them in a tiny baggie, but I am not keeping them because they don't fit the way
Dude,
that I'm redoing the color.
Mardi Gras theme
It
for
was
Tyranids?
dude, it looks
good.
It's
They're
a
here to
cool. It
party.
was a really cool base though, and
It
I've been
was, but,
rebuilding
like,
it. I'm building it with a
Mardi
darker
Gras?
green.
Well, think about Mardi Gras is supposed to be like excess.
yeah,
Tyranids
it makes
eat a
sense.
lot.
Nah.
It's
I could
it's
see like
silly.
Slanesh Mardi Gras.
It's silly.
That would be fun.
It's fun. It was definitely a
Bunch of
different
demonettes with
take.
beads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've so my green's a little darker. My purple's gonna end up being a little bit different.
Your
I
green was
added,
pretty bright on him last
Yeah.
time I saw him. So yeah, I could see darkening it up.
Little-
Would make it look
little
more
darker.
natural.
So I've added a Swarm Lord, I've added an Exocrine, I've added a Tyrannofax, I've added
Big boys.
16 more Gene Stealers. So it's pretty fun. And then I've got a little tease for you guys. I've got a secret project that you guys are all going to see soon. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's his penis.
Shut up.
I mean, I'm still.
It's the fact that it's got
hobby-wise.
two heads. It's like a xenomorph. like the head of my dick opens up and a smaller dick comes out.
Well, while we're kind of on the hobby talk, we were talking.
And then it spits out a poop doodle.
It's an ovipositor.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. That egg that I passed off to you. So for everybody that's listening, I had an emu egg, which is very large.
And it is petrified.
It's petrified at this point. It's been living in just my random box of stuff for years and years. What is it? It's been more than 10
Man,
years.
Can you imagine you cracking that thing?
Oh,
right now?
please don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's solid.
It's
inside.
solid. It wouldn't even crack it.
But yeah, I'm gonna two-part cast it.
And my idea
Terrain.
was that it could be a dope like Tyranid drop pod or like a queen sack of
the
some
veiny
kind.
sack.
But yeah, basically I wanted
Veiny
him
sack.
to like
Remember
deck it out in a bunch of veins and
The nutsack
throbbiness.
monster from fucking Half-Life.
Oh
I
yeah,
never played
yeah,
Half-Life.
yeah.
Big nutsack hanging between four.
I thought you were gonna say the nutsack
Yeah,
guy
the
from
ballsack
the
monster that you
Balchinian
drop
from MIB.
the grenade in his head.
He's a Balchinian.
That's an acid maw. If you look at the Gene Stealer acid maw, it's totally a Balchinian.
It's a Balchinian.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Balchonians.
nuts hanging
Yeah.
off. Yeah. So there's going to be some dope stuff with that. But yeah, guys, what do you like about Space Hulks? What did we leave out about Space Hulks? Do you have any lore that you've written about Space Hulks? We want to know. You can share that stuff with us.
Space Hulk.
At Under the Hive of Madness at gmail.com or jimdarkgaming at gmail.com. If you're interested in connecting with us a little bit quicker and a little bit more actively, you can join our growing Discord community.
It really is probably the best way to get a hold of us. We're on there pretty much 24/7. Not only that, but we usually jump on the voice channels right there. I know myself, I do a lot, quite a lot, onto the video game section where you can actually sit and chat.
Yeah, Tom's playing
Play
video
some video
games. I'm
games.
running movie nights, and Ryan's running painting contests. So
Yeah,
it's popping off.
we got a painting contest. We have a lore writing event. We've got the movies. We got the video games. We've got other interests. If you're into Magic, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, if you're
Into RC.
RC stuff, if you're into other war games, we all have a lot of hobbies that kind of cross over. So come out and see what's going on. If you guys are interested in helping us out a little bit more directly, you can either watch our Twitch streams every Friday night. That's at twitch.tv/jimdark_gaming. We usually go on between 6 and 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's PM. Pacific Standard Time. The other way that you can help us out is you can head over to Patreon and check out our page. That's patreon.com/Under-the-Hive of Madness. Both of those different ways, either through Twitch or through Patreon, help us out because subscriptions and patronage levels help us achieve the goals on our roadmap to growing the podcast, growing the different things that we can bring to you guys. We have some stuff that is rolling out in the month of October on our podcast. In the month of October through our Patreon. So definitely go and check that stuff out. Again, that's patreon.com/Under-the-Hive of Madness. If you are looking for us in other places around the wilds of the internet, you can check out our link tree, which is linktree/Under-the-Hive. From there, you can get to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can even find our Discord. If you want one link that gets you to everything, Underhive is the way to go. As always, I have dropped the spellings and direct links to everything in the show notes for the episode, so please check those out. Well, Slaughter fans, we are definitely deeply lost inside this asylum. Kevin, I am never letting you pick the restaurant again.
I mean,
Worst place to pee. Why would we pull over here for pie and a pee?
because you can pee anywhere.
I didn't
That's
even
true.
get any
You
pie,
could-
bro.
you could
I mean, I
pee.
left a pie.
No. That last one, the kind of like vaguely see-through blue girl, she was offering pie.
Oh, I
I'm
left her a
pretty
pie.
sure it was
That's
gonna
probably why she came after us, because I left the
rip
pie.
my heart out. But wait, what?
What?
Did you piss off the ghost?
Nah.
Marky pissed off the ghost.
Better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yes.
Marky
Yes.
pissed off the ghost.
I mean, I probably shit in her bed, but it's fine.
So we may
Spooky
not
dooky.
in fact survive the night, but if we do, we will be back next time, same bat time, not necessarily same bat channel, here at 665.66 UHMR Chemrat Radio.
Radio.
Radio.